a soldier, an airman, and a Marine walk into a room. This show is The Punchline. My name is Ryan Smeltz, and you're watching Veteran Talk Show.
Bro, how you miss him? How you miss him?
He said, how you
missing him?
Because I look like this now.
Yeah, because I don't know him.
No,
I don't know him.
How you missing?
You
You want a beer, man?
No, I don't drink, man.
You want coffee?
I don't drink that either. Water, juice, pop.
Can I get a paper towel?
You alright?
Yeah, it's still.
You said water, juice.
Pop.
I have juice.
Yeah.
How do I miss him?
Bro, he right there in your face. Right now. You're looking at him. I promise you, you're looking. No. Hold on. Look at him right now. Hold on. Stop and look at him. Picture without that right there. And you're looking right at him.
I don't know, dude. That guy?
Look.
See, he's not wearing glasses. How am I supposed to recognize him? If he had glasses on, like, I can't see that shit.
Oh my god.
Like, how am I supposed to recognize that?
Yeah, man.
Is that really? That's not really you.
That's him. That's Smeltz right there. That's Ryan.
Bullshit.
Yep.
You had the birth control goggles.
Yes, he did. And Fairchild, who he's talking about, that drill sergeant,
Yeah.
that's her right there.
So hot.
See, y'all had
That's
y'all had the sexes intermingled. We didn't have that.
Go ahead.
Yep.
Like, we had 4th Battalion down on Paris Island, but whenever they came walking by, we always had to turn around and not look at them. I'm sorry I spilled my beer. That's a party foul.
Alright.
Massive party foul. My bad.
Hey, do you guys as far as on this, do you guys deal with the like cell phones or anything like that? Like, what you
If
guys?
it goes off, it goes off.
Okay.
What now?
Like cell phones, like put it on vibrate, like.
I have mine on vibrate, yeah, because I've got a
It
really
ain't that
annoying...
serious, man. This show.
I'm just saying. I just want to make sure you know.
That's apple juice.
It'll be fine. It's happening.
So what I was
He's a
telling
man who's
him-
taking care of himself.
like,
Because he's still in the military, unlike us,
He said,
shitbags.
"What do we got to do? Put it on vibrate?"
I just want to make sure, like, because I want your shit to be, legit. Like, it looks
Not-
legit.
It's not legit at all.
Like, it looks legit. I like the way. I was like, listen to
You
it.
know what's legit?
What's that?
Fucking conversations we hold on this damn
Oh
thing.
my God.
I gotta figure out because editing this is gonna be a bitch.
Oh yeah, because you've
It's
got
gonna
to
take forever.
go through and yeah, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bitch.
Like, you just need to do it like Rogan, where he just like comes on and talks with a guest, and then that's it. Like, just goes. Because we go down some rabbit holes. So yeah, Africa. So, do you guys like? You're there now?
Yeah, I live there. Yep.
You
So-
live there. Are you on a base?
So
No, there is no base there.
There is
Not
no
in
base.
Guinea. Not in Guinea. Specifically, there isn't one in Guinea.
hey, so it is recording, just so you know. So at any point, if you say something and you want me to edit it out, just tell me.
I got you.
I don't
got
want
you.
you saying some shit. in the kitchen.
No. So nothing I'm doing now is classified or on the red side, on the high side. Nothing I'm doing. I work out of the Office of Security Cooperation, which is it's a portion it's a portion of the embassy. It's DOD, but it's a part of the embassy that deals with enhancing the U.S. foreign policy with the host nation.
Foreign policy.
Yeah.
Talked about that earlier. That's why I used to tell people that when they tell them,
They're like, what do you do?
I'm like, working foreign policy. Doing what? Execute foreign policy.
I got
That's
you.
what I did. Because I always felt like people would be like, what do you do for a living? Oh, I'm in the Marines. People would be like, oh, this fucking guy.
Yeah.
He's just bragging about it. And I'm like, I don't.
I got it down at Fort Polk one time. We went to Lake Charles to the club, and this girl was like, "Oh, you're just a jarhead."
Charles.
Yeah, the one club. She was like, "You're a jarhead." I was like, "I'm pretty sure you don't know what that means because I'm not."
Yeah, they don't have jarheads down there.
I think it was right when the movie came out.
Jarhead?
Everybody was a jarhead.
So
then.
they were like, "Oh, you're just a jarhead," and I was
So-
like, "That is not what that means."
So what's it? That dude?
Why? Because of the haircut? Oh, okay, cool.
So the dude, he's the wrestler, right? John Cena was in
Yeah.
that. Was that no?
No. You're thinking of
That was the Marine.
fuck.
He was in the movie The Marine.
With the two brothers. You talking about the two brothers that fought each other?
No. He was in like this.
Jarhead. You're talking about Jarhead.
So
right?
Jarhead was Jake Gyllenhaal.
Right.
So my mom sent me the movie of Jarhead while I was in Iraq. And I like called her. I'm like, why the fuck did you send me this movie? She's like, well, I figured you wanted to watch it.
Oh, this is
about
cool.
Marines in
No,
Iraq.
absolutely not.
I'm like, I don't want to watch a movie about Marines being bored in Iraq while I'm a Marine bored in Iraq. Like I'm living it. I don't care.
But you could have got that movie for free or $3 from
Yeah,
Haji.
she put it in a care pack. Like,
Dear Joe,
like
enjoy.
bless her heart. like I get where her heart was at, but I was like,
could have went right to the bazaar. $2-3 right there. Dubbed the movie. Bro,
like,
got it.
What the fuck, man? Well, we didn't have a bazaar really where I was.
Where were you actually?
In Rawa.
Okay.
Up in Allen Bar. So I was like a few hours.
So you had to dig a hole. So I think you had to dig holes.
No, not there. We had Connex boxes we lived in with generators.
Okay.
You
You was living how I was living.
Yeah,
Okay.
It was nice. 6 Marines to 1 Connex box.
That's too many. That's too many. It was me and a roomie. That's it.
It's too many.
It was
Me and a roomie. It was separated by our wall lockers. We make sure. Excuse me.
Don't come over here.
1 Connex box was like the COC and where the platoon sergeant was. Then we had another Connex box, which was where half the guys were, and then we had another one, which is where the other half were.
Let's do this.
And our mission, and so we were at a tactical checkpoint. So we were guarding the bridge over the river. That was so my platoon was separated on either side of
Appreciate
the
it.
Euphrates River.
So
Okay.
Everybody is.
And then we would go out on patrols and convoys and shit. And then we handed the province back to the locals.
Yeah. To the host nation.
And
Okay.
we got moved to the Cobb, which was just outside the town or city. And we basically went on raids from there.
Yeah.
That's all we did.
Of the Navy SEALs equipment.
We had to guard their base, man. And they had a really nice.
Your words, not mine.
So
your words, not mine.
So they wore our camis. The SEALs did. They wore our camis, and one of the SEAls was. This is a story I haven't told you. So one of the SEAls was standing there with his sunglasses on his head, and in the Marine Corps, you're not allowed to do that.
Right.
So our sergeant major.
Oh boy.
Sees this guy and sees him. He just instantly thinks this is one of my
Marines, yeah.
But come on,
and he's like, hey,
did he have that haircut? Like what?
He had. Well, we weren't in regulation. Like we all had low regs.
Okay.
Like it wasn't a thing. So he just goes, hey, devil dog. That's how we talk. Hey, devil dog, take them sunglasses off your head. And he just is like, fuck you, motherfucker. and so Sergeant Major was just like, who the fuck do you? Like, he just went, like, and so I guess the commander of the team or someone was like, hey, he's not one of your guys. And he's like, okay. So this started some kind of beef with the upper echelon guys between the SEALs and my battalion.
Whose dick is bigger?
Yeah, so I can remember my buddy Dexter was on guard duty for because the SEALs had their own little inner sanctum within the base.
Yeah,
which is where they kept like their Xbox and they had a bar in there and they had like all this nice shit.
That's what soft does. That's what we do.
Yeah, they.
That's what we do.
they they just had it cake in there.
And if you don't have the code to get in,
the code was you had to have an ID because there were like 2 Marines who stood outside the entry point keeping guard. Like that was a thing.
See, yeah, we had a code to get in.
Oh no, because this was on.
Well, you're also talking about. I mean,
talking soft. So when you talking,
well, this was 2007, 2008,
yeah.
And they were out there. So I mean, maybe they just didn't get that lock set up.
Yeah,
you know?
it's just the lock was 2 Marines standing guard
okay.
on their because this is where they stay inside the Cobb.
Because essentially your unit just protected that base, right?
Yeah. So
So it's like the Navy SEALs lived there, but they did the
security.
Work.
Yeah.
they did the work.
That's how. Yeah, that's how it. That's how it always is.
So we would stand in front of, and I never got put on the the security for going into where the SEALs lived, because that was just kind of like their bivouac area.
Yeah.
So, but my buddy was standing guard, and right after all of this happened, the commander of the SEALs, like he was the OIC, was sitting there, and they had like a group meeting, like, all right, guys, look, one of the Marine senior echelons come up to you and tell you to do something because they think you're one of them, because we're wearing the digis that Marines wear, and whatever. And the dude who I guess had the beef with my sergeant major was like, no, fuck that.
No, fuck that.
And he's like, fuck that motherfucker. I don't give a shit. Like, and like Dexter's like, this is how they talk. Like, I can't do that. Like, I would love to be able to look at my sergeant major and be like, fuck you, bro. I'm not doing it. And then at El Asad, when I think we were leaving Iraq, and we were at El Asad, and so they had what we call, so we had to go to Chow Hall, and at Chow, they had monitors. It was so fucking stupid. You had to have positive control of your weapon at all time in the Chow Hall. I don't know if you guys had that.
I remember this story.
Do you think? Go ahead.
I remember this story.
So we all had to sit with like our weapons muzzle to the ground as we're sitting at these tables. We had to hold on to them with one hand and eat with the other.
Of course.
So we're sitting there holding on. And if you didn't have it, like some gunny or first sergeant or sergeant major would come up and be like, keep positive control of your weapon. Like, because they're fobbits and they don't know. It's kind of like, all right.
Because that's their job.
That's
you wake up, go to the chow hall, and walk around and yell at people.
That's what's going on at UCOER right there. Chow hall guard.
I assume he was a Navy SEAL. I do not know if he was a Navy SEAL, but the look of him, he wasn't. So this big jacked dude comes walking in. He's got a big giant beard like that with his head shaved, and he is a jacked. He's like 225 pounds with 0% body fat.
Okay.
And he has a tricked out M4 slung over his back, and then he's like snub nosed with a silencer, all suppressor. It's not a silencer.
I've heard it both ways.
Whatever. I've heard it both ways. And he's got like this Arabian sword, and he's in athletic gear. So he's in a gray shirt that has Navy written on it. He's in like fucking athletic, like just shorts, just some athletic shorts, like basketball shorts, sneakers, and he's got this M4 on his back, just slung across his back. He's got like this Arabian, like it's not really a sword, but it's like a knife. It's like one of those curved long knives.
Yeah.
It's like on a belt on his hip. And we're like, who the fuck is this guy?
This guy with a sword.
He's a guy with a sword. So he takes his gun off of this. So he comes in with like a bowl of like oatmeal or something. And we're sitting on one side of the table, and we had just finished our first deployment. We're getting ready to leave, and there's like 5 of us there. And we're all like freshly minted boots. Like we had just moved from being a boot to now being a senior. And this dude sits at the other end of the table, and that's all who's at this table. So he comes, he puts his bowl of food, whatever it is, on the table, takes his M4 off, and puts it, just like throws it onto the ground. And it's got a magazine in it and everything, so he's at least condition 2. Condition 3.
Okay.
And you're kind of like, oh, well, that's not supposed to happen. And he has a gangster tucked, like, it looked like a suppressed cig, and is like gangster tucked in the back of his shorts, like not in a holster, just like tucked into the back of his shorts. Takes this thing out, puts it on the ground, spins it, sits down, and is eating, and he just is spinning like he's playing spin the bottle, right? And so he's just like spinning it, and he'd spin his gun, and eat. And this gunnery sergeant comes walking by. And
Chow hall guard.
Chow hall nerd. She looks, and she's like, hey, sailor, you've got to have positive control of your weapons at all times. And he's just like, literally, this is the tone he used. He looks up at her and he goes, no, cunt. And then just now, do that to a gunnery sergeant in the Marine Corps. Yeah. Like, everybody just calm the fuck down.
Oh man,
our jaws dropped. We were like, oh, this guy's about he's gonna get fucking.
Did you hear what he said?
Yeah, we're all
Did
like,
you hear what he said?
Can you do that out loud? Like,
Wait.
so she goes full on drill instructor on his ass. I'm a goddamn gunnery sergeant. We're back. And she's just like in his face, knife handing. And this like sergeant major comes like out of nowhere and like grabs her, and he's just like, just go away, Gunny.
Move on
Like,
to the next one.
He's like, Gunny, quiet, go that way. And he looks at him, like the sergeant major looks at him and is just like, enjoy your man. And just walks off. And we are all sitting there, like our jaws drop. We're both like, how is this allowed? Like, how can we be you? Like, how did you do that? Like, what do you do?
Oh man.
Yo, I read Dan Crenshaw's book Fortitude when it came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know what they had to do to
Oh,
do that. And I was like, holy shit.
I've talked to some SEALs, and I mean, it's fucking with any SF guy. I mean, any SF guy.
Yeah.
And I don't, they've got to go through some
So-
shit.
So you said you're CA.
Yeah.
So did you still have to go through selections?
Yeah. You have to go to assessment first. Yeah. Yep.
And then
So
you
that's
said Q
NDOC,
course,
like an NDOC. We called it an NDOC. You had to run.
SFAS. So Special Forces Assessment and Selections.
Yeah.
We
So
called it. So in the Marines, we call it. So I had some buddies go over to recon.
yes.
And
So
they had to run NDOC before they could go to recon.
So basically, you had to get selected whether or not we want your basically.
Yeah.
A draft. I'm gonna call it a draft.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
had it for stay.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting
Like,
it.
no, I don't like you.
Yeah.
Like, you,
So I-
for whatever reason.
You had
I
the same
went-
thing we had the same, even like stay, so snipers.
Yeah.
So to get them to stay platoon, you had to run an NDOC. You pass NDOC,
Mm-hmm.
and you go to stay. And when you're in stay, from there you get they select people to go to sniper school.
Okay.
That's how it kind of.
Dude, I would have done that shit. I went through SRT phase 1 and phase 2
Same.
down at Fort Polk.
Why poke? Why poke?
They had
It was an MTT,
yeah. A,
mobile training team.
a gunnery sergeant taught me how to shoot. Soul. Gunnery sergeant, Soul.
Marines know how to shoot, man.
Well, it was a gunnery sergeant, Navy guy,
I got to add to that.
I don't know how I like that.
It was a Marine, Air Force, Navy, and 2 civilians. So it's kind of funny because it was an MTT.
What was one of the civilians a stocky black dude, older guy?
No,
Okay.
no. But he came down. So they came down. I went through that, and I mean, come on, man. I have never been the cream of the crop. I was never the top PT stud. I was never the expert shooter. I was right in the middle, so I was never, I was usually sharpshooter on my weapons. I went through that school and they were like, all right, you got to hit the 300 meter target, 5 times or whatever the fuck it was to get in.
But see, that's the thing. It got to be your rounds got to be within 2 inches.
It's iron sight.
Iron sight.
And you had to hit 4, what was it, 5
when
of them?
Started, we had iron sights.
You know what I'm saying?
So the point I'm getting at is I was like, I don't know why the fuck my platoon sergeant signed me up for this. This is not me. I don't know what the hell is going on. But you had practice, qual.
Yep.
Okay? If you made the first practice, they were like, all right, you're good.
Yeah,
Go
but you
sit
didn't have
down.
to snap in, did you?
We had guys.
What do you mean? What is that?
I'll let him finish.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll go
Because
with
that's
that.
another Matt Best song. But anyways.
Is it really?
Yeah. He does all sorts of rap battles. But anyways, there was this guy there. And I'll never forget. He was like fucking expert. He was 300 PT score. I have no fucking idea why I'm here. My platoon sergeant said I'm going. I was like, cool. I'm glad I'm here. I had already been demoted once.
Mm-hmm.
Now I got demoted in Iraq. I got back stateside and I got moved platoons. So I don't think I'm being treated based off that. But hindsight 2020, I feel like at this stage I am borderline shitbag. But my platoon sergeant's like, yeah, you're going to SRT and phase 1 and phase 2. So phase 1 they could train a whole group.
Phase 2, it was not like that. It was like by the time we got to the range, I think it was like 2 to 4 shooters per instructor, give or take.
Something like that. Yeah.
It was not that much. It was a lot of one-on-one because it took a lot, you know? But we're on the first qualification. And I'm like, I have no idea why the fuck I'm here. I hit it on either the first or the second try. I got it. And I was like, holy
Did you graduate?
Fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Because we had a guy, because you had every single qualification you had to pass to move on to the next one. We had a guy, got to day 4 or 5, and he went through practice, qual, and didn't make it. And I want to say it was the sitting. It was a fucking, because we were using it was the same as the Remington 700.
Talking about that M24.
Yeah, we were using M24s with the Leopold scope.
Yep. Yeah.
And he was sitting, and he fucked up. He missed it, so he got dropped. I have no idea how I made it through that course. Never shot anything less than expert past that course. That course taught me everything I needed to know how to shoot a gun.
Like, truly shoot.
I was like, holy shit. If I had an opportunity to go sniper, I would have done it, because that was the only thing I don't like about snipers is like everything else, but the shooting, that was so much fun.
I don't like everything else but the shooting.
The shooting.
For me, like, if I would have done sniper, I'd been like, I love this whole like stalking shit, like laying in the woods in the middle, like just laying there.
I like being able to end you from a mile away.
Yeah,
that's what I like.
Like,
that, I think
the shooting would have been like the icing on the cake for me. Like, so my buddy.
You said I want to hear the snap in.
Yeah.
So snapping in is they have this like oil barrel that's painted white with the dog target and so like the two targets, the human silhouette and then the one that's from the shoulder, and they paint them on all the levels.
Okay.
And so you basically form a square around this barrel as a platoon or boot camp or whatever. And you basically form a square, and you basically go through all the positions. And you basically dry fire your M16 onto this barrel. So you get used to what your sight picture should be, where your eye relief is, and you just start building the muscle memory. And I will tell you, the worst part is that, like, so we had the standing position at 200, then we had the sitting, or the kneeling position, I think at the sitting and I think it was the sitting and the kneeling at 300, and then the prone at 500. So when you're snapping in, you go through all those positions, and you are in those positions for hours. So like the worst is the kneeling position. Like the sitting position is easy because you're just here. You're sitting. And you're sitting Indian style or whatever you call it these days.
Right.
And you're basically leaning in, and that's your sitting position. Whereas the kneeling position, you're like, it's not a true kneel.
Yeah.
Like you're sitting on
like
I know what you're talking about.
Your ankle / shin.
You're like sitting on that thing, and your other knee is like up, and that's what you have. So it's just like this awkward thing, and you're in that. When you're snapping in, you're in that shit for like an hour, 2 hours, and you're like, oh my god, this fucking hurts.
Yep.
Your body, like, and they're like, all right, now we're gonna go to the ground.
I feel like I went through phase 2 before I broke my leg again, because they put metal in there, and ever since then, when I do shit like that, like get down, when I get back up, the longer I'm in that position, it feels like I'm breaking my fucking leg again.
Whenever I have to do anything on the ground, like get down onto the ground, I'm like, oh, getting up's gonna be fun.
So you went through phase 1 and phase 2 as well.
I was actually on an SRT in Hawaii.
That's what's funny is they wanted me to go to the team, and I was never a 270 PT score. Okay. I was never a 300. I was like, if I got a 250, I was like, I did good. Good job, Smeltz.
It's funny because
when I got to Hood, I was like, I'm just gonna get over 200, like, just to get over 200. Like,
is this your what, physical fitness?
Yeah. What is
the score?
What is minimum?
Because the max score is 300.
Yeah,
that was our max score.
Minimum is 180, right?
What do you have to do?
It's 60, 60, 60.
Well, at the time, it was push-ups, sit-ups, 2 mile run.
Yeah,
that's nothing.
He says at the time because now they gotta like.
Yeah, but now it depends. But it also depends on your age,
crochet,
your age as well. So.
Once you got past like 27, like if you were 27 or older in the Marines, like it started going down. But like up into that.
So that's the difference. That's the difference with the Army. Back then, because we have a new test now, but back then it was the younger you are, like it was weird. If you got older, your max still kind of went up, but your minimum goes down.
Yeah. So a max for a 18-year-old was like a 13-minute 2 mile. Yeah, but a max for like a 23-year-old would be like 12-50.
Right. So we didn't have that. So you did as many dead hang pull-ups as you could.
We didn't have. Oh, okay. You're talking about Marines.
Marines. Yeah. So we had dead hangs. So basically, you got up onto the pull-up bar, and you could do them either over grip. So you could either do pull-ups or chin-ups. And you could switch between the two grips while you're doing it.
That's pretty sweet.
As long as your feet didn't touch the ground. But so you'd get up on the bar and you'd have to hang there for a minute. Like there'd be someone standing right in front of you and they stand so close to you so that you don't like kick your legs or kip. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know if that's like the proper term. That's what we called it in the Marines.
You say kip?
Kip. Yeah. So where you like use your legs.
Yeah, you kip your legs.
You kip your legs out. So
it's a true fucking dead hang.
So you had to go up and your elbows had to lock. And then you waited for the guy who was watching you, who was counting your pull-ups, to say, begin. So you'd hang there for a second. And if you tried to do like one of these where you like kind of kick your elbows up and hold yourself up a little bit, he'd just stand there. He wouldn't tell you. He would be like, you just wait. So then you'd relax and be like, okay, now you can, and he'd go begin. And then he would count. So every time you heard a number, that was, so you'd hear him go like 1, 2, 3, 4. And he would stop. And he would stop because either you didn't go all the way back down. Like, so some guys would get into the habit where they would go up and they'd come back to like here and then they go back up. So that wouldn't count. So the guy standing there would go 1, 2, 3, 4. Didn't go all the way down. Come down.
Yeah.
5, 6, 7.
So like ours when they get to.
They keep saying the same number.
In basic training, because our 111 assessment.
Yeah.
I was never a PT stud. I can run forever. Mm-hmm. I went out one time. I was in the Army. I ran 10 miles. It hurt. I ran 10 miles. Like, no big deal. I ran when I was at Fort Hood. I mean, I never thought I would do this. But this lieutenant was like, hey, run marathons with us. We're starting a team. I was like, all right, fuck it.
I'm not a good runner.
But during the 111 is when I found out that I am not going to be I think in our unit, I want to say in basic training, it was Newenhouse that was like fast as fuck.
So
I think in our platoon.
So it was. So we had. Remember they had it categorized in Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta for the runners. But then it was only 6 of us that was Alpha Elite that they called us.
Oh, okay.
So those guys rabbits. We had rabbits, turtles.
Yeah. So the first time I heard the term rabbit was during the PT test.
Just so fucking fast, man. Yeah. Just so fast.
We had to run 10 miles.
Well, yeah, but I mean, Marines. Yeah. They got to do everything more, better, faster, stronger. You know. So in basic training, we did the 111, and I was like, "This is not going to be good," because I'm pretty sure my recruiter pencil whipped the whole 8-minute mile. I had never had to run a mile, so I ran a mile, and he was like, "I want to say it was 8 minutes or like 8:30," and he was like, "Oh, you did it! Look, you did it!" And I was like, "Why does my time match what the standard is?"
Yeah.
Why is it on the nose? And I think it's because I came in. If it was 8 minutes, it was like I came in at like 8:01, and he's like, "All right, we're good. 8 minutes." He's slow, but he'll learn. So we do the 111. It's like day 0 of basic training. And they're like, "All right, we're gonna do 1 minute push-ups, 1 minute sit-ups, and a 1 mile run to see where everybody is." I'm like, cool. So I do push-ups, and they got to 10, and they quit. So it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 10. 10. I was like, God damn it, man. Come on. I'm
what am I doing wrong? Yeah, like
10,
what am I doing?
10. I'm like, help me. I was so mad. So for my 111 assessment, I did 10 push-ups. I did like 40 or 50 push-ups, but I did 10.
Yeah. We had to go. So we did the IST when you got to boot camp. So your recruiter never did really anything with you. You showed up to boot camp and you ran the IST after your first like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
And that you had to just to get to boot camp, you had to do a 13-minute mile and a half, 1 dead hang pull up, and like 20 punches.
13-minute mile?
13-minute mile and a half.
That's slow.
It is slow.
That's really slow.
Like that was just to get into boot camp, and if you couldn't do, even if it was like if you could do,
that's a jog.
The 3, yeah,
that's a jog. That's not a jog. That's not a jog or a run. That's a jog.
Yeah, it's a jog.
Like I'm jogging.
If you did that, then you pick up your drill instructors and you went through.
Couldn't you walk that? I could probably walk that.
And then, if you like, let's say you failed on one of the 3. You then got dropped into pork chop.
Okay.
Or whatever, yeah, pork chop platoon. And so you would go through pork chop platoon, and you would basically be in pork chop platoon, and they would, like, they would run those guys stupid at pork chop. They just like,
for real.
Like they were just
so at Leonard Wood, you only ended up there
4 times today. Like
I think at Leonard Wood, like during training, you only ended up there if like you got hurt because my brother-in-law was there. While I was in training, he ended up hurting himself. So they wanted to send me because I broke my leg in basic. That's why I got recycled. Right?
Wait, which part was this?
So everybody was about to graduate. I want to say it was our phase 5 FTX. It might have been phase 3, but I broke my leg and they sent me home for 3 weeks. I came back and Drill Sergeant Muhammad wanted to keep me, but I had missed Humvee, Grenade, and Law. And it was 3 major training events. So he was like, we got to recycle you. He was like,
do any of that.
Drill Sergeant, I was an MP, so it was OSIT.
Yeah.
So it was 1 station unit training. So it was basic and AIT squished together.
All together, yeah. So you graduate your basic.
So when you're saying
go right into AIT.
Oh, no. So everybody goes to boot camp.
So your Marine MPs did this stuff.
Yeah.
But they did it at Leonard Wood with us.
Yeah. But so before they had to go through boot camp first, which was 13 weeks.
Yeah.
Then they went to MCT, which is the POD infantry training.
He loves that word.
I do.
He loves that word.
I use it quite a bit.
That's us.
So that's where all non-03 MOSs went. And they went there, I don't know how long, 4 weeks maybe. That's where you learn to throw the grenades, shoot the laws.
Yeah.
You know, Marine combat training is what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then from there, you would go to your MOS school, which for the MPs would be down at Fort Polk or wherever. Littlewood.
Yeah.
And they'd go and do their training there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was separated.
Yeah.
But to get to that point, they still had to go through boot camp and MCT.
So our boot camp, like your boot camp and MCT was separate. All of that is in one for us.
And I think the only reason they did that is like the way the Army is structured. So it's like, because they have drill sergeants, so you go through the 9 weeks of basic training. Well,
because they can be sergeants, staff sergeants. I have gunny.
Well, right, but the Army likes to keep it simple.
Yeah.
Everybody E5 and above is sergeant.
Yeah, we'll call them sergeant, but like if you say, you clearly know that's a staff sergeant. No, that's a sergeant first class, but we don't call them sergeant first class.
In a Marine Corps, if you look at, so we didn't have all the different, so we don't have specialists, we don't have, so we have sergeant, staff sergeant, gunnery sergeant, and then first sergeant, and then from there you either go sergeant major, master gunnery sergeant.
See, that's why we call them all sergeant. Can't
remember all of them.
Goddamn sergeant, goddamn gunnery sergeant, motherfucker.
Yeah, the only time in the Army we would specifically say sergeant first class or master sergeant if they say, hey, like we have 3 Browns, like what sergeant Brown? Sergeant first class Brown. Oh, okay, I know what one. Yeah. Like
you see a Marine coming at you. This was the problem with the Marine Corps. Is like we have especially in dark movies.
We had a Marine gunnery sergeant instructor.
He called us war pigs.
He
called us war pigs.
Did he?
Yeah, he'd be like, "Hey, war pigs."
He said
it's because he wanted to call you devil dogs because that's what he's used to.
He said,
"Hey, Dub Dogs, we're gonna go get some."
Well, I mean, we were MPs.
We couldn't call you. You're not,
pigs.
You're not
MPs, pigs.
Yeah.
Okay.
He called us war
all
pigs.
Marines are devil dogs. That's what it is. Devil or boots.
Cops.
Devil pups.
Pigs.
Yep.
Oink oink.
And he was a cop himself. He was a Marine MP himself. So he called us war pigs.
So he was an instructor. He said, "You will call me. You will call me Sergeant, not Sergeant." So I think he was a gunnery sergeant too. He's like, "It's going to be gunnery sergeant, not gunnery sergeant," because that's how we always did it in basic. He was like, "If you drag it out, we're going to do it again. If you drag it out, we're going to do it again."
And so when you're talking to a sergeant, it's Sarn.
Yeah, Sarn.
Sarn.
Hey, Sarn.
Hey, Sarn. How you doing, Sarn?
Yeah,
Hey,
but
Sarn. Hey, First Sarn. That's. I don't know why. Like it sounds.
well, the
like,
G is too much work. It's really too. It's too much
I
work.
don't know what it is.
Sergeant.
Yeah, no,
So
it is. It is.
So Canady, obviously, by this point we've established that we went through basic together.
Mm-hmm.
But then you had to go through selections.
Okay.
So I went through. I got med dropped. Probably 10 days in.
Okay. What selections you talking about?
Fuck, dude. I think I went in 2007.
What selections though?
So I went through SFAS in 2007.
So you went in 7. I went in 2008.
So my question to you really. So I was. So I went there and I came back. I got med dropped. They were like, "Oh, okay, let's go to Iraq." So while you were in, I was deployed, but I feel like it's basically like second basic training, just worse. So what was it? I mean, what was it like?
Okay, so SFAS or CA? Because I did. I
don't fucking know, man.
Look, I did Rangers. So you got to understand, I've been through a lot of assessments. Like I've been to Ranger School. I've been to SFAS.
Wait, did you get your Ranger tab?
No. I didn't. I ended up getting period out out of phase 2. But we'll get to that. But as far as assessments, my first assessment I ever did was SFAS.
Okay.
Made it all the way through. I was just and I went when it was 14 days.
God damn.
It was 14 days. So
I think when I went through it, I want to say it was like 21.
Yes. So now I think it's somewhere between 28 to 29 days or something like that now.
I was telling somebody the other day, they just change it. They're just like, now it's 6 months.
So everything that they are doing in, say, 20-something days, I had to do in 14 days. So, yes. And it was nonstop. There wasn't any downtime or anything like that. No time to really recover and recoup.
Oh, sleep? That's cute.
Yeah, none of it.
Golly.
So the difference between, say, SFAS and Ranger School was SFAS, at least you get to eat. You might have to eat pretty fast, like within 5 to 10 minutes, but you get to eat.
That's like boot camp.
You got to scarf it down. So at least you're gonna, and there is 3 MREs. You're gonna eat them.
My drill instructor used to always say, "Eat now, taste later."
Yeah.
So it wasn't physically. It was pretty tough. Physically, it was pretty tough, but at least you can eat. Ranger School, you don't eat and you don't sleep and you just move.
Yeah.
So this is how it was in Ranger School. So
you don't eat because they don't feed you, or you don't have time.
You probably get like
they don't feed you. You don't eat because they don't feed you. So it's more like, all right, so here's your typical morning. You wake up at say 4 a.m, somewhere between 2 to 4 a.m. You'll wake up because whatever mission you guys got going on that day. You'll eat your breakfast, which is about 15-20 minutes. You hurrying up eating that. Then you're prepping.
Are you eating hot chow or
no? This is MRE. Okay. Now you're prepping. Now you're turning around. You're prepping your op order that you have to, your op brief that you have to give, your operation brief that you got to give. You're tasking out like who's going to do what paragraph and helping, that type of shit. You do your mission. You won't eat again until you get back, which will be around 02 the next morning. Okay. Now remember, you just woke up between 02 to 04. Up for 24 hours, moving around, doing whatever you're doing for missions, because you're doing at least 2 to 3 missions a day, and then you won't eat your dinner until you get back, but then you wake back up another 2 hours or so, eat breakfast again. So you're eating twice in one day, but really,
but it's been
one
like
a day,
46 fucking hours.
Yeah, so and it sucks. So phase 1 was horrible. It was a phase 1.
You're still talking Ranger School.
School right now.
So how long was that? Because you said phase 1. So
from start to finish, you're looking just a little bit about 3 months, 3 months and some change. That's from start to finish. Now, 9 times out of 10 people that go to Ranger School are going to recycle at least one time. Like, it's just statistics. You're probably going to recycle.
Just out the gate.
Anything, because you fail something. Like, you can either get peered out and they'll say, hey, we'll recycle you. Or you fail a gate because you have rap week that you have to go through, which is like, even though you made it to Ranger School, but they're still like, well, we got to see if for real, you're in Ranger School. Like we gotta test you first. So you still have to do like your land nav. Still got to do the Ranger PT test. You still got to do the obstacle course. You got like a 2.5 mile buddy run that you got to do. The swim test.
Obstacle course one. You do like like there's something in Ranger School, and so we call it like the E course, the endurance course, where you do like a 3 mile run. So there are obstacles you got to do along.
So Ranger School there's 2 obstacle courses. There's one in rap week that you go through, which is, it's not really, it's kind of shitty, but it's more like them hosing your ass down and you're doing all this weird shit.
You gotta like jump down into mud pits and crawl under barbed wire, then get up, run like a quarter of a mile. So you're talking about a true obstacle course. That obstacle course is in phase 1, actual phase 1. Because right now you're not even in phase 1 yet. You're still in rap week. Okay.
Oh shit!
Like you're still, you
don't even. You got to earn your way into phase 1.
Yes. So rap week is literally rap week. It used to be literally a week, but it turned in like 3 to 4 days. So everything you did in those 7 days, now you're doing somewhere between 3 to 4 days. So like the swim test, like
I was always awesome at the swim test. Like that was the crazy. I was not the most physically fit Marine.
Yeah.
But like when it came to getting in the water, I was like, got it. Like,
See,
I did like all the way up to like, so we had 4 levels. I did in boot camp. You go level 1, which is what was required, or level 4, which was required. If you pass level 4 on the first go, you could try for level 3. If you pass that, you could try for level 2. They won't let you do level 1.
Except for what he's talking about, MPs do water training. Like when the platoon sergeant is like, I know how to do this, and then plans it for PT.
No, we actually had it was a yearly training we had to do. And if you only ever got swim qual 4, you had to do it. I saw
one E7 at Fort Hood do pull PT maybe twice.
Okay.
That was it. Other than what you're talking about, like
we had to jump off the high dive and everything.
I did
more.
See,
Ranger School's swim test is not your typical swim test that you're thinking about. It's nowhere near the same. Like completely different. Their swim test is first they smoke the shit out of you. Before
we get in the water, real quick.
And it's not even, you're not even at the lake yet. Like depending on what company you're in Ranger School during rap week, they might say, all right, get a black bag and I want you guys to put additional boots, uniform, put this in there and throw that in there. And they're like, all right, we're going to the lake. Well, I think it's Victory Pond, or I can't remember the name of the lake.
We actually did it in a school.
No, this is a big ass. No, this is a big ass pond. Big ass lake pond.
This is at Benning?
Yeah, this is at Benning. So now they're saying, now your RI is like, all right, let's go. And you're like, where the fuck are we going? How we getting there? We're running. So now we're with all our shit. Go. We're following him through whatever route he deems appropriate.
Yeah.
To get down there. So now you just ran 3.5 miles.
He makes
for no reason to get there.
He makes a beeline.
So you're like, what's over here? Where the fuck are we going? Like, what is going on? You get there. Now you're already worn out. You're like, all right.
You already ran. You're lugging your bag.
So now you got to climb. So now the first portion of the water test is now you have to, which is more like a heights test. So now you have to climb up this little, I can't remember exactly how tall it is, but you climb all the way up there and you're walking on this beam. You got to walk on this beam and there's 3 steps. Walk up the steps. You got to stand. Like you have to, once you get on the top step, you have to stand, face them, or I think if I'm correct, you turn and you have to face them, say some shit, and then, or like you ask permission to go. Like then you go, then you get to this rope. So you got a ranger call on it. get to the rope, shimmy all the way down to the Ranger tab, which is hanging there, tap it, hang off, and then ask for permission to drop. But there's something specifically you have to say. You can't just say, hey, Sean, can I drop now? Like, nah, you actually have to say, you have to memorize.
You have a phrase or
that you have to memorize. You say, and he's like, all right, drop in.
Golly.
You swim out. Now that portion is done. Now you have to turn around and don the flick, because now you have to put on a flick and a weapon, and they push you in the water. You have to get out of it and then swim.
Yeah.
Thing is when I went, it was cold as fuck. So they
of course
in this pond or lake was frozen over. They don't care.
They
breaking the ice and getting it ready. So mind you, the stereotype about blacks not being able to swim, or like we don't like to swim, or we don't know how to swim. That's just, that's what you hear, right?
You're making me think of You're making me think of the comedian. I want to say it was Daniel Tosh who said most black people don't know how to swim, and then he's like, I know y'all are getting offended, but just pay attention to what I said. First of all, I didn't say all. I said most. but in the Army, it don't fucking matter.
So now, mind you, I can swim. I was on a swim team as a kid, growing up when I was in middle school. I can swim.
Motherfucker's a fish.
The problem is,
oh shit,
this water. I didn't know it was that cold. Like, I've been in cold water, but I ain't been in
all right.
cold water.
Out of you when you get into it.
Knock the wind out of me, bro. Now, mind you, I really don't care for heights. I don't like riding roller coasters. Now, granted, I jump out of planes.
I'm not a fan of heights.
Like, mind you, I jump out of planes for a living. Like, I got it.
How you do it? Like,
now, mind you, I'm hanging up there. I'm like, oh my God. I look down. I'm like, fuck. And now I've asked this guy if I can drop. He's like, drop. And I'm like, he busts out laughing, right? He's like, I'm like, oh, then I tell myself, don't be a bitch. So I let go, boom, and I go, drop in the water. This water was so cold, it made me gasp for air underwater.
Yeah.
So I'm like, because you've been to water.
You're fucking drowning yourself.
I dropped and I went.
All the water just went in.
All in lungs and every bit. And I get up and now I'm throwing up water. Like, and they're like, we got another one. And they're trying to like, literally, mind you, I can't breathe, and I'm trying to tell him like I'm good, I can swim. Like, I'm trying to say, yo, the water's just cold as fuck. Like, yo, leave me alone. And he's trying to like, he has this fucking thing, like this pole, like to save you, like to save me pole. And he's hitting me, and he's like, he got the fucking rope hitting me in the face with it. I'm like, yo, I'm pushing, I'm throwing it out of the way. Like, oh, I can swim, I'm good. And I finally get out.
You're used to that. You're like, okay, like the shock from the water. The shock and everything.
For how cold it was fucked me up. Like, I knew the water was cold, but I didn't know.
You're used to swimming and stuff, so you're I'm good.
So all I needed was and I'm treading water, and I'm just like, and I can't trying to breathe. I'm trying to get the water out, and I'm trying to talk to him like, I'm good. Get the fuck. I'm good. Shit, I'm good. He's like, yo, I was like, bro, that shit's cold as fuck. I'm like, yo, close your mouths. Like, that's what I just say, close your mouth. Because it shocked me so much that it was that cold. I've never been in water that cold.
Yeah.
And after that, you put the flick on and.
What is the flick? What is that?
Your
the load bearing vest.
What would you?
It was like an LBV.
The LBV, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got the LBV on, and I got the weapon, and the guy wants to push me in the water. I'm like, yo, bro, don't push me. Like, I'll step in it. Like, I don't like shit like that. Like, don't touch me. Like, just let me get in. Let me step off on my own accord. I step in, I get in, I have to take off all of it and get away from all that stuff. It's basically to simulate you getting in the water and having to take off your shit and swim. So, but you have to swim, the side swim is what you have to do. So I do it, I get out. Now after that, now you got to run all the way around to the 75-foot tower zip line. Now, mind you, if you go to Benning now and you go to where the lake or the pond is and you see it, it's actually like a ramp or now like how they have it. But when I did it, it was just a ladder that you had to climb. So I was like, God damn, this is a fucking ladder. And I'm like, and it's not a regular ladder. It's that bullshit military ladder shit. Like the bare minimum, like the bare minimum fucking ladder that they give you. And mind you, by the time I get halfway, my shoulders are worn out. My legs are heavy.
You said 75 foot?
I'm wore out.
That's a fucking ladder.
I'm like, God.
Golly.
I'm like, what the fuck, man? I'm tired. I'm like, and then by the time I get up there, I'm bending over with my shoulders sore, beat up. And I'm like, all right, I hope I can do this. You know, now I'm up 75 feet high, like zip line all the way down. And the RI tells you either to lift your legs up because you got to lift your legs up and he lets you know when to drop and stuff like that. And it wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. But once again, I got back in the water. So
it's still fucking
cold as shit. Yeah. Still cold as shit. But once you actually beat that portion of the rap week and you get a go, you're good to go. You know, you go on to the next little whatever is next for rap week.
So like so in the Marines, so we, you know, have to live in the water. Like we do a lot of shit in the water as Marines. It's basic.
Marines.
Yeah, Marines. Like my ass.
Like it's in the name.
My ass water. Navy equipment. That's what it stands for. So I think from you that sounds a lot like the course that we had to run at the Crucible. To like where we had to like ranger crawl across the rope bridge.
Yeah.
We didn't call it ranger crawl. You slid down with the rope going through.
You were on top of it.
Yeah, you were on top of it.
Yeah, so you
had to like switch over.
So we weren't allowed. We weren't allowed to be. If I'm correct, I don't know if we were allowed to be on top or it was mandatory. We had to be underneath. I can't remember.
We had to do both.
I can't remember.
We would crawl first, and then you get like halfway, and then the drill. And this is all done during the Crucible, and then the drill instructor would go, change or switch or whatever, and then you would fling over, and then you would finish it under.
Right.
And then you would get to the rope ladder, so you had to climb up one rope ladder to get up there, and it wasn't 75 feet. It was like
the shit was.
It was
fucking high as shit.
It was probably like 55.
Bro, I was angry. I was pissed.
It seemed like ours seemed high as shit.
Mad as shit, talking shit the whole way. Like fuck.
I think it's crazy, man, because I know.
Why the fuck am I even here? I should just go home.
We had to crawl down this thing, switch over, finish, and then this is part of our. It wasn't so a regular obstacle course isn't like this for us. Like we have a basic. Everybody does a basic obstacle course.
Right.
And then at the Crucible, you have like this like obstacle course on steroids, and you like crawl, and then you climb down the ladder. You climb up the rope, and it's rope. It's made of ropes to simulate going up and down like the side of a ship to get into landing craft.
Okay.
Right? So you climb up this thing, then you crawl down the rope, and then you get to the other side, and then I hit it.
I'll get over it.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I'm over it.
Yeah. But then you get to the other rope ladder, and then you climb down it, and you go to the next obstacle. And you're over water while you're doing the rope thing.
Okay.
And I didn't see anybody really fall. But of course I wasn't really paying. It's not like you're standing around like, yay! Like you do that obstacle, you're going to the next obstacle, and then you do like the little rope bridge where you like do the like you're standing on a piece of rope and you're grabbing a piece of rope above your head.
Nice.
Step hill step, remember? I know you remember that from basic.
You
step
talking
hill,
about
step?
drill?
No, from
like DNC?
No, step hill. Look.
On the rope?
No, in the DFAC when we were in like red phase.
Oh fuck!
Just trying to get.
I got poison ivy or something on my leg. We're in there fucking doing that shit with the tray, step, and the drill sergeant's like, Smeltz, what the fuck is wrong with your leg? Drill Sergeant Fairchild, like, you need to go to the doctor to sick call, and I'm like. That's where I was. They gave me like this cream, and I just put it on it. Like nothing's wrong.
TMC.
I think
TMC.
I want to say, the TMC. I want to say maybe like I got a little bit of poison ivy and probably scratched the shit out of it. Because like, dude, if I don't.
So here's the thing. My camis, I felt like were chemically resistant.
Fuck no.
I don't know. But I don't know what it was. Plus,
and we would be like rolling and poison.
But plus,
because it's just
I don't know what it was, but it was on my leg.
No, bro. You know
we were in PTs in the DFAC. So I don't know when I got it or where or what happened. Plus, like in my sleep, dude, if I don't get a lot of sleep, if I go to sleep like in basic training, I feel like they give us plenty, you know, but we're still waking up at fucking 4:30 in the morning.
Yep.
So I could have been scratching my sleep. I think the problem was primarily me irritating the fuck out of it. And so when I went to the doctor, he was like, here, he basically gave me lotion. But then I'm in the defect and we're going like this and they're like, hey guy, what in the fuck is wrong with your leg?
Hey, you remember in basic, man, we weren't allowed to sleep without a shirt on. You remember that?
Yeah.
So
I forgot about that.
We were not allowed to sleep without a shirt. Like we had to have our PT because we had to sleep in our PTs.
That's all we. But I mean, that's all we had.
Yeah, that's all you had. But like I don't know what. So my bed was actually in one of the little side rooms, down the hallway.
Same when I was with Rogers.
Wait,
Rogers was my battle buddy.
So no. So look, this is how.
Not traditionally.
Traditionally, you got the bay. You got the bay, right? What everybody's sleeping in the bay. But it was so many of us. We all couldn't stay there. So
we just got lucky.
Yeah, we were just lucky.
He said he had one. I know I had one with my battle buddy.
Yeah, I had my battle buddy.
And that was about it.
But
there was maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah. Yep. But the problem is it was hot as fuck. I mean, hot. If I can't sleep. If I know what's bothering me, I'm hot, so I'm taking this shit off. Like I don't care.
Yeah.
So I remember taking it off, and I'm knocked out.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting. This story.
Now
I'm just gonna take a guess. I'm gonna say this story involves Drill Sergeant Baker.
Baker and some female.
Oh shit!
Baker and some female.
I called it.
Some female drill sergeant that had to do her rounds, but she had to do rounds with a male.
Well, Baker was the female. But she was the short hair one.
Yep. Yeah. But I can't remember who the guy she had going with her to do the rounds. You know what I'm saying?
Called it.
I'm guessing.
No, I'm knocked out.
I know because I got a story. No. But I got a story after this one that involves her. That's how I knew it was her.
But bro, I'm knocked out, and I halfway wake up and hear them like doing the count, and I hear her go, "He's not sleeping with a shirt on," and I'm like, "I don't."
He got no shirt on,
right? And I don't give a shit. Like
Did y'all not have Firewatch?
We had Fire Guard.
Yeah, you had Fire Guard, but I mean, the thing is, the drill sergeants were doing their.
At night. We're asleep. Like, what's Fire Guard gonna do?
It ain't like Fire Guard really going. I will smack the shit out of Fire Guard if they woke me up and said, "Yo, put a shirt on."
No. So we had recruits while we were going through boot camp.
Yeah,
recruits every night. You would do an hour Firewatch, and there was a schedule.
Same.
We had
an hour, maybe 2.
And we had that. You were in the squad bay, and it didn't matter. Like, so you would march up, back and forth, and if the drill instructors really wanted to fuck with people, they'd make you like sing ditties or something. So you'd be marching back and forth, just being just saying something to keep everybody up. And then at we had a change of the guard.
Okay.
So the Firewatch would go wake up the next person in line to do Firewatch.
Sure.
They'd wake that person up, and usually it was 2 people because you had to have battle buddies or swim buddies, and you'd wake your relief up. Then you'd have to go to the drill instructor hut, and and there was a big wooden, like I guess sign that had a handprint on it, and so you had to stand there and you had to smack the sign 3 times. So you had to like smack it, and it made a loud ass noise. So, and this happened every hour of the evening.
Okay.
So you would sit there and you would be like, and then the recruit would have to yell, "This recruit requests permission to speak to drill instructor so-and-so." And if the drill instructor didn't like how loud he was, "I don't hear you," and he would scream it out. Like, "I don't fucking hear you!"
They made that
so
shit
you do it again.
So I think the reason that we didn't have to do that is because we had Fire Guard for every bay.
Yeah.
So where CQ or staff duty for that building was 1 drill sergeant, each bay, the female bay, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 platoons plus female had Fire Guard.
Yep.
So if we were to do that, there would have been a line of at least 10 motherfuckers.
Yeah.
So
changing.
But to finish this real quick. The male drill. Now, I don't know who the male.
Got no shirt on.
Like, so the female's like, he doesn't have a shirt on, and he goes. The guy goes, "He what? Hey, Brian, wake up. Da, 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 da. Get up. Now, mind you, I mean,
You're half asleep.
I got my the tights, the black the spandex on. That's what I'm sleeping in. No shirt. I said, fuck them PT shorts. Like, nah, I'm sleeping in that. I'm standing at parade rest. Eyes still closed, and I'm still like, and he like, why don't you have a shirt on? Cause it's hot, drill. It was like, cause I'm hot,
cause
drill.
it's fucking hot.
I was like, yeah, cause I'm hot, drill sergeant. And he's like, go back to bed. And I just get back in the bed, like, and rolled over, bro. But he didn't know what to say. Like, he's like, bro, why? You know what I'm saying? He really, what can he say? I'm like, motherfucker, I'm hot. Like, it's hot up here. He knew it's hot.
You ain't got no shirt on.
Bro, I got
go back to bed.
Yeah, and I got the window open and shit, and I'm sleeping near the window, bro. I was hot as fuck. Cause when we went, it was at least our cycle was hot, man.
Yeah, I enlisted
in the summer, so
I enlisted May 9th. And that's when I left. Because the thing is, I don't know about you, but I got to the training unit. I got to Foxtrot right when we started. So I was like day 0 and then day 1. Whereas Bailey and a bunch of other people were hold unders.
Bailey, is that white guy, short, glasses, kind of goofy?
Yeah,
like off.
A little bit.
I met him. I saw him. Bullshit. I saw him again in Iraq.
Bullshit.
In Iraq, bro. He was.
Dude, I don't know what happened to that guy. But the thing is, like, they were hold unders, so they were there forever. So I show up to this training unit, and there's this other guy, like, teaching me, and I was like, oh, okay, like, he's in charge of me. Come to find out, no, he's just another trainee. The only reason that they're teaching me is because they've been at this unit, like, waiting. What's funny about that is I almost became a cook. I'm at fucking MEPS, and the liaison is like, yeah, we're going to make you a cook, PV2, and no bonus. And I'm like, hold up.
You guys got bonuses before you enlisted? Like, before you went through boot camp?
For enlistment.
So, like, for enlistment,
we got
you didn't get your money. You didn't get your money until you graduate. Like, you had to graduate basic and AIT.
Yeah, like, we didn't get, Marines don't get that.
Like, yeah, you didn't get that money until you actually got to your unit.
You didn't get in Marine Corps. You didn't get a bonus until you re-enlisted.
There was a point where if you went hurt locker, you got like 40 grand.
Yep.
So when I was in Iraq,
because
EOD motherfuckers are crazy as shit.
I've gotten a lot of money since I've been in.
Yeah.
I've gotten a lot of money.
So here's the thing. So my seniors in Iraq would get like $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 re-enlistment bonuses.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they would sign in Iraq so they could get them tax free.
Fuck yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I was in Iraq.
Smart men.
They would re-enlist. I was in Iraq when I was leaving Iraq when Obama got elected.
Yeah.
My last few weeks in Iraq was when that election happened. No. So we went from the Bush administration to the Obama administration.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I'm thinking, like, I was like, I'm not.
I remember it well. I still had a year left.
Yeah. I remember it well because the day Obama got elected, we got rocketed. The day it happened. Like, the day they announced Obama is now the new president of the elect was the same day we got. So it was like late November, mid-November.
Yeah.
And we were leaving Iraq.
I was in Hawaii.
Transitioning out of Iraq.
I was in Hawaii at this time.
Yeah. So I was like, but I remember, like, my squad leader in Afghanistan, he got like, I think like $40,000-$50,000 to re-enlist.
Fuck yeah.
In Iraq. So he re-enlisted for another 4 years.
Hell yeah.
Tax
free. Like, that was in his bank. I was like, fuck yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember in Afghanistan, I was like, because that's where they started approaching you about re-enlisting. And they were like, hey, Double Dog, you want to? I remember my first sergeant.
Hey, Double Dog.
He's like,
Double Dog.
Hey, Balak, let me talk to you. And I'm like, hey, what's up, first sergeant? He's like, first of all, I know the deal with first sergeants. They have a quota they've got to meet for re-enlistment packages.
That's interesting.
Because
with us, it's just retention or recruiters.
Yeah. So no, it's first sergeants. So your first sergeant's trying to get you to re-enlist, and the more people they get to re-enlist, the better they look. And my first sergeant in Afghanistan was awesome. He was a great, but actually both first sergeants.
That's kind of a shitty way to add on to the first sergeant. Like it
is, but
you know what I mean.
That's who in the infantry.
I mean, if you think about it, like, because ever since I got out, I learned a lot about relationships, and from a leadership perspective, if a first sergeant has that,
I'm saying if I'm a soldier and you're my first sergeant and you're an asshole, you must don't even come to me talking about fuck your quota.
That's the
first sergeant.
So
the responsibility.
First sergeants are supposed to be kind of. First of all, they're the senior enlisted advisor,
right?
I'm sure it's the same in
Yep.
So they're supposed to be the guys that the younger enlisted people can go to with issues and problems.
Yeah,
and they kind of are also the mentors for. So, in my mind, that's who you want. Like, yeah.
So in a perfect world, like the way it on paper, yes.
But if you got a dick ass first sergeant, you ain't.
And I know there's tons of Marine dickhead first sergeants.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like
I don't know how this is for other MLSs.
Like you know what I mean? Like
we went to Camp Atterbury. The first rotation when I was down at Fort Hood, I want to say it was 2012, maybe 2013. We went up there, and the platoon sergeant tried to take the soldiers' phones, and then he picked NCOs whose phones he was going to take. So he took all lower enlisted E4 and below cell phones, and then, I want your cell phone because you're a shitty NCO, but you're a good NCO, so you can keep yours, picking and choosing. And so I brought it up, and I was like, hey, you can give us an order to not use our cell phones, but you can't physically take our phones.
They couldn't.
Like that's property acquisition. Like you can't do that. If you were to do that, it has to be involved in something. We have to get hand receipts, this, that, and the third. I wasn't trying to be a dickhead, but I was like, hey, just bring this to your attention. I want to let you know. Yeah, my first sergeant comes around. It was funny. He walked with me and my platoon sergeant. I was an E5 sergeant at the time. He was walking with us, and he was like, Smeltz, this, that, and the third. He put heavy implications on struggles for me to get 6, to get promoted. Like, hey, if you keep saying this stuff, acting like this, not playing the political game. Yeah. And then he looked at me, and he goes, you're right. Looked at my platoon sergeant and was like, hey, you can't do that. But Smeltz, fuck you, shut up, this, that, and the third. So my perception of that first sergeant was that he was a dickhead. So it's like if you put that responsibility on him to retain people and that was presented to me by him, I would be like, why in the fuck would I want to keep working for you?
Yeah.
Well, so you didn't have to re-enlist into the same company. You could, once you re-enlist, but it was kind of the first sergeants who came up and started convincing.
Well, this guy's got a ton more experience with that.
And so when I was in Afghanistan, my first sergeant came to me and he goes, so, when we get home, you'll be getting out. Have you thought about re-enlisting? And I was like, my first question to him was, what's the re-enlistment bonus? Because if it's nice, I'll sign right now.
Right.
And he was like, $2,500. I'm like,
$2,500?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think the Army talks to you for less than $5,000.
Yeah. It was like $2,500. I was like,
I got $6,000
just for joining, right?
Yeah. Just for
we didn't get anything for joining. That's the thing. You didn't get shit for joining.
Fuck that. Y'all chose the wrong branch. I don't
know. You didn't get shit. Hello. When you first joined the Marine Corps, and I don't know if it's changed, but when you first joined the Marine Corps, you don't get to pick a duty station. You can try and pick an MOS.
Well,
but if
you got to put to put 3 duty stations.
Yeah. So you get a wish list. So you got a wish list. Yeah.
We didn't even get a wish list. They told you.
Yo, this motherfucker went to Hawaii. I don't know where.
Well, that wasn't but that wasn't my first duty station.
Well, I'm pretty sure
it was Korea.
I'm pretty sure when I was with you guys, I was headed to Bragg.
Yep.
But I wouldn't know because I got recycled, so orders came down.
Marine Corps,
but I didn't look at them because I said, I already know I'm getting recycled.
Yep. Okay.
I don't want to see what my orders say because then I'm going to know where I was headed.
Right.
So after I graduated my second one, I went to Fort Polk.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure, not 100%, but I feel like Smith and a fuck ton of other people.
You remember King? They all went to Bragg.
I feel like a ton of people went to Bragg. I'm pretty sure I was headed to Bragg.
Yeah.
Glad I didn't. I would have ended up being a dickhead.
Yeah.
We didn't get.
Yeah, tons of them.
We didn't get any of that. Like when you join the Marines.
But see, only certain MOSs offered.
Doesn't matter. In the Marines, you couldn't go into EOD without being prior enlisted.
Same.
So you had to go through an enlistment, and I'm pretty sure you had to be infantry to go into EOD.
Okay, no, it's not like that for us. If you want to go
pretty
EOD, it doesn't
matter.
matter your MOS because you still have to go through assessment.
I think you had to
you know what I'm saying, get selected or whatnot.
There are a few billets that you had, like, so drill instructor.
Are you sure? I feel like that's not true because we had Jacoby. I don't know if it was with us or if it was after that, but Jacoby got recycled. He was an MP. He fell out of EOD school. I thought he was fresh.
I don't know. I've never heard anybody coming off the streets to go EOD. I've never heard that.
You had to re-enlist into EOD.
You know fucking crazy.
You know what? Like, to be honest, you could be right, and I don't even really.
I think
all
they have
EOD
it.
Guys I saw that were Marine EODs were all prior infantry.
Okay.
They weren't. So I never saw. So in Iraq we had Navy EOD, and those guys.
Those are the only.
I think you're right, man. I think you're right. You can join as EOD,
but you can fail.
Yeah, but you can fail, and that's why. That's right.
Jacoby was a recycle.
Yep, he was.
Yep,
he was already like a. Yeah, that's right.
And
you have to be prior enlisted.
You fail a test or something, they don't hold your fucking hand. I mean, you're diffusing bombs and shit. It's like if you fail a test, it's like
our EOD guys were like, "We're blowing this shit up, so we're not diffusing anything." But you had to re-enlist for EOD. You had to re-enlist for drill instructor. So you couldn't go in to the Marine Corps and say, I want to be a drill instructor. You had to be in a prior enlistment and then re-enlist into EOD.
So now that's the same for us. Like, that's the same. You can't come off the streets and become a drill sergeant.
You can't. Dude, coming from Germany, I tried to be a drill sergeant. They said, oh, we're not taking male E5s. I was like, God damn it. so I went to get my E6 and they were like, we're full.
And then when you re-enlisted,
like,
that's when you could re-enlist to a different duty station. So you never got a wish, and that's when you
wait. Because I thought Marines only had 2 duty stations. No, what is this?
So you have Lejeune, Pendleton,
Oki,
and Hawaii.
Yep,
those are the 4.
Then they do
Oki and Hawaii are like
now they do. So they do have some. Y'all do have some broadening assignments, like those one slotted positions in random places around the world, kind of like us.
Yeah, so that's TAD though. That's something completely different. So if you're going to like a one-off duty, like recruiter, right? So that's a school you go and you be a recruiter. But if you're not a recruiter, and you can be TAD to a recruiter station and assist recruiters.
See, you're assisting. See, so we don't have that.
You can go and you can go work in a recruiting office and be TAD for like 90 days to a recruiter.
See, yeah, that's different. That's more like a TDY type of assignment. Like for us,
you said I'm laughing because you said we don't have that like assisting recruiters. No, because we got those guys that get I forget what the fuck it was called. But you get out of basic and you go home for leave for 2 weeks.
Yeah, that little shit.
But then you get an extra 2 weeks where you get to help the recruiter.
Yeah, that's like your first experience. But then you can also be like TAD to like 29 Palms to be a coyote, which is like a range safety officer.
It's like helping people get across the border.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we call them coyotes. So the coyotes are the like range safety officers. Now there's guys who re-enlist to go out there to do that, but you can also be TAD'd to go out there and help out.
That's just regular. That's just regular TDY. So like for us, if I want to become if I just want to do, say SORB recruiting, like that means but it's not. But see, you keep saying you using the term TAD, completely different. So like,
what is TAD for you guys?
It's TDY, temporary duty.
It's the same thing.
So we call it temporary assigned duty.
But no. But see, for TDY, like I'm TDY right now.
Yeah.
So the military is giving me extra money just to come here to go to this course for 2 months. Then they send me back.
Yeah. SLC.
Yep.
Yeah. So you can be TAD to go to a school, like SEER school.
That's all TDY. That's all TDY stuff. Now, what I'm talking about as far as like my position or like SORB recruiting, they can say, Hey Charles, we want you to do recruiting in San Antonio. That's a 2-year assignment.
Well, I'm actually
SORB recruiting.
Yeah.
But not recruiting as in people off the streets. No. I'm actually recruiting people that are already in the military to become either special forces, PSYOPs, or civil affairs. to come over to the special operations side.
Secret squirrels.
Yes, so that's
Super
so
secret
that's sword recruiting.
Super secret squirrels.
So that is, hey Staff Sergeant, have you ever thought about going special forces? Have you ever thought about going SF or
that's how they got me.
I don't know what the prior. So we had something like that. They were called prior enlistment recruiters.
So that
but I don't know if that was an MOS or if they were TAD. I don't know.
See,
so with us, it's neither.
That's
it's
neither
not an MOS or a TDY.
No,
it might be
it's
something
literally just.
That's literally a broadening assignment. Like literally, yes. Like
maybe it might be billeted.
It's just like our retention NCO in the 89th. We had a brigade retention office.
I had to go to
had like an E7,
but retention is an actual MOS. They are actual MOS.
Okay.
Retention NCOs are MOS. They have to go to retention school, recruiter school, become and their entire MOS. Yeah, retention is an entire MOS.
We had to go and check out. So as part of our checkout process, when I EAS'd, I had to go talk to a prior enlistment recruiter.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to go to this office on base, and I'll never forget, I showed up, no one was in the office. It was like lunchtime or whatever, and they're pogues, so they take 2-hour lunches. And I was
hour and a half,
whatever.
I'm just saying.
And so I'm just sitting in the hallway in this chair, and this staff sergeant comes walking in, and she looks at me and she's like, "Who are you here to see?" And I'm like, "Prior enlistment." I show her my checkout package, and she's like, "All right, come on in." And she opens the door. She turns to me and she's like, "Do you want to go to another branch?" I was like, "No."
Do you want to stay in?
No. She didn't ask me if I wanted to stay in. She asked me if I wanted to go to another branch. If I wanted to go into the Army, Navy, or Air Force. Because in the Marine Corps, so the Marine Corps is the only branch that does this. If I would have re-enlisted into the Army, I would not have had to go to Army boot camp.
Yep.
And I would have gotten promoted.
Yeah, y'all are only one. Yep.
We're the only branch that does that. So I could have gone into any of the branches of service.
That's why so many motherfuckers come out. James...
Yep.
/ Mike.
Great White Buffalo.
I'm going to have to fucking edit that now. God damn it.
Just call it Great White Buffalo. He's the Great White Buffalo.
So the Great White Buffalo.
He's a C-dub.
He was Marine. Then he was Army. Then he was a fucking helicopter pilot. Yeah. Then he became a warrant officer. Now he pushes papers. I don't know what the fuck that guy does, but that's why he did that. That's why.
I could have gone.
Well, I don't think you know Petrowski, but he went. My buddy Alex, he went to Fort Hood, and he was rooming with a guy. So I went to Fort Polk. So Fort Hood was only like 5 hours away. Mm-hmm. So I drove over there to visit right when I got there because I knew people over there, and he was rooming with the guy that was Army that used to be a Marine.
Yeah,
one of our NCOs in Germany. She was a Marine. She went Army.
One of my senior Marines in Iraq re-enlisted into the Army and went to Ranger School, and became a Ranger. And he left the Marine Corps as an E4, went to Ranger School as an E5, because he just re-enlisted into the Army. He didn't have to go to boot camp, so he ran NDOC, is what we call it, whatever. Selection or whatever.
AIT. He went to AIT.
He went to AIT and then fucking went into he went through all of that because he got out as a corporal of the Marines after his first 4 years, and then went to Ranger School. And by the time he was an E5 when he went in through Ranger School.
That's fucking crazy.
And he was full on Army, so he wasn't one of the recon or MARSOC guys who go through Ranger School in Marine uniform. He was full on Army at that point.
Yeah, we had a guy, I don't think it was in our unit, I think it was when I got recycled, because I got recycled 787 to 795, so it was Foxtrot to Foxtrot. Mm-hmm. But he was
now I'm not sure how
he was a reclass, so he came in right when we hit
I'm not sure how
whatever was after red phase, like blue or whatever,
something like that. Okay.
I've heard of
he came in right there, and they had him stand behind the platoon. He didn't stay with us. He didn't, marching wise, because I want to say he was a specialist. Maybe he might have been a sergeant. Pretty sure he was a specialist.
What was Jacoby?
I think Jacoby
was he a 4?
Well, he might have been an E4, but the thing is,
he had his own car and everything.
You
I had a couple of guys like that.
He got reclassed, but you could you could go into basic as an E4 if you had a college
degree. Right.
I think you only needed an associate's too to go in as an E4. But if you got reclass like that, Jacoby, I think he just got reclass. It was like he had already been through basic. He had already been through. You're good, man.
I gotta get out of here.
Appreciate you.
Late.
All right,
nice
brother.
meeting you, man.
Same.
Sorry, I gotta dip.
Maybe
I love this conversation.
Yeah.
I gotta go to my sister's house.
Maybe we'll do the. I might do a little with him. The purpose and disclaimer.
Huh?
Don't watch if you are still in diapers.
Don't watch if you're,
Don't listen if you don't like the C word. Don't.
Which C word? There's lots of them.
Yeah. See.
So, it was nice meeting you. Hopefully you come back.
Yeah. I'm here until February 26th.
Oh,
so
shit.
Let's do next week.
So yeah, you just hit me up. Let me know.
Well,
it's up to you, dude. So I think when you take off, we're gonna get into the premise a little bit, like the whole purpose of this show. But we'll do something with you next week.
Well, I told my sister I'd be at her house by 2, so.
Oh, don't be late.
The wife and I'd probably be there. Bye.
All right, man.
Take care.
Appreciate it,
brother.
Joe. Yeah, he's a good dude. So I actually, I don't really know what I do. So I tell people I sell stuff online. That's like the easy description. But like, I got this guy. He sells lead test kits for like painters, contractors, and stuff. I got this other girl out of Charlotte. I just took her on Thursday or Friday. She sells textbooks. I got a nonprofit in Apex that I fulfill their book orders. So for each client, like I do something different. For the people in Apex, like the youngest person on their board of directors is like 65.
Mm-hmm.
So I do everything because they don't internet much gooder, Right. But the girl in Charlotte, I pretty much just fulfill it. So I got storage units across the way. I'm probably moving into warehouse flex space in the next month or so.
Mm-hmm.
But I just get the orders, I print the labels, I slap it on. That's what that box has in it. And I fucking send it in the mail. Then I charge a couple dollars per order, and that's what I do. So before it was growing again, I was trying to get someone who could at least help me.
Mm-hmm.
But it was kind of a toss-up between experience versus me training them, and I was working a full-time job at the time, so I was like, what do I do? And that's how I ran across him. I ran an ad on ZipRecruiter, and I got all these people, and he's like, he was a Marine. He ran the 350,000 square foot warehouse in New Orleans, Louisiana, for the largest alcohol distributor in the fucking United States.
Shit.
So I was like, awesome. So I bring him in. I think I was paying him like $10 an hour. I was like, dude, this is still a little more than I can really afford, but let's do this and see how it works. He helped me a fuck ton.
Really?
He straightened shit out. He gave me pointers. He fucking fixed shit. I had VAs at the time, virtual assistants. I ended up firing most of them, but then he was like, look, you're transparent with me, I'll be transparent with you. I think what he was asking was like, hey, if you decide to shut down your business, let me know.
Yeah.
Which didn't happen, but then he was like, hey, I'm going through interviews, this, that, and the third. Got a job offer, whatever. I was like, fuck yeah, man. So I still have him over. I'm like, that dude is the shit. Like, he knows what he's doing as far as warehousing and stuff goes.
Okay.
He was in the Marines for 4 years, so for us that would be like, the sham shield.
Mm-hmm.
Just cruising, got that initial contract, do your thing.
Yep.
But he talks a lot. I like to talk, and so my thought process behind this, like I already have 3 shows or 2.5. So I have Business and Brews, I have How to Build a Business in a Pandemic, and then I have the After Brews. And so in doing that, I've learned some things, and I was like, I want to apply what I've learned to a new show. I want it to kind of be about veterans.
Okay.
So that's where I came up with this idea, veterantalkshow.com. So I talk with him, we sit down, whatever. Then I have other people on. So in that trailer you saw, I had Jacob. He's Air Force. He's actually not out till March. So Jacob comes over sometimes. And then I had Casey. Casey is a quality human being.
Okay.
He's Air Force. He's a veteran. He works for nonprofit, helps veterans. Real good dude. Super sharp, very professional. Then last week I had on my buddy that I talked about, warrant officer, and Joe. We were still set up in that room, and it was crowded as fuck. And then the girl that he had with him, she was a Marine veteran.
Okay.
So, and then Dominic, he got out of, I swear Dominic got out of the Army like 2 weeks ago, maybe a month, you know, but he's pretty fresh out. And so, but what we talked about was like off the fucking wall. I was like, holy shit. So, like, the conversation last week was super crazy. The conversation I had with Casey when he came over was very, you know, somewhat about leadership, development, like, things that translate well, especially for veterans when they're in the service.
Now, is this, that's the Air Force guy, right?
Yeah. So,
see, that's the thing. So that's the thing, the difference with when you ask, when you're talking to Air Force about leadership, because they don't become leaders in the Air Force until like later on in their careers when they're actually dubbed a leader, if that makes sense, you know? So like a leader, for, you know, for us, for the Army, you know, a E4 could be a team leader.
Yeah.
You know, can run his own team.
Yeah.
You know,
well, I think more specifically in the MP Corps.
Yeah. But I mean, even in the infantry, you know, you can get an E4, like a senior E4 that can do a corporal or E5 job, because you might not have an E5 or corporal that's there, or they might dub that E4 a corporal. Like, hey,
ready, set, go.
Yeah, we're gonna give you we're gonna give you the 2 stripes. Yeah. Boom. But you rarely see that. You rarely see 2 stripes anymore. Like, they just, it's there. It's just they get away from it. But yeah, so that's the difference between like the Air Force. They really don't have leaders so at a younger time in their career, like they don't develop them as leaders until
he was
later on.
So he was a single contract, so to speak. And I think the biggest thing he talked about was like the people who were lifers who were in, and how they communicate that when someone decides to get out. And I really enjoyed like some of the stuff he talked about where he was transitioning, and it's like,
I wonder how that was. I wonder how's he doing with transitioning as far as.
So he's good now. It was, I think the biggest thing we talked about was basically, you know, you decide to transition. So say you're on a single contract and you're getting out, and then your first sergeant is like, oh, you're never going to get a job, even at McDonald's. You know, you should stay in this, that, and the third. And then you get to, for me, it was SFL TAP, you know, Soldier for Life Transition Assistance Program. And this guy has been in the Army for 4 years, and this guy has been in the Army for 25 years, and I was in the Army for 10 years. So it's like, if we all go through the same programs getting out, really the biggest difference between someone who retired and someone who gets out after an initial contract is just the benefits.
Yeah,
it's just
the time in service.
You know, like, to be honest with you, man, and I don't talk about this a lot. I don't know if I talked about it on the show yet or not, but I would have stayed in for 20, 30 fucking years given the chance. I tried to get back in for 3 years after I got out. I just talked to a recruiter again maybe a week or 2 ago. It was a friend of mine. I met her in Germany. She was like, oh, I can get you back in. I was like, all right, here's my DD-214. So I got chaptered, you know, wrong place, wrong time. A hard lesson learned is you are who you hang out with. Giving 22-year-old me that information would have been valuable.
Okay.
I think it was spoken to me more often than not, and maybe I just didn't pay attention. So that's the whole reason why I'm where I'm at right now. Otherwise, I would have spent my whole fucking life in the Army. Like,
right.
It was what I knew. It was what I fucking miss it, dude. Like, I would go back in a heartbeat. I made that comment on one of our first episodes, and they were like, "Oh, you're crazy, this, that, and the third." Like, Joe, he wanted to do his 4 years and move on to the next thing.
Yeah, he had a plan. You know, he actually had a plan what he wanted to do. And it's
not this fucking guy.
I got you. Not
this guy. This guy was, I put on the uniform, I show up at the right time, I do what they tell me to. Yeah, that's easy. I like that. Like you're doing right now. It's like they said, go to school. You can go to school.
Yeah, I mean, this is all for promotion. So,
so it's like, of course, it benefits you, but I mean, it's easy. It's like all you got to do is put in the effort in ALC and in WLC. I was Commandant's List, and ALC, I was shooting for Commandant's List. I missed it by one simple screw up. You know, I still kicked myself a little bit, but it was like it was easy. It was like you put in effort, you find other people in those schools, other people in those units who are successful, you get around them. And so I saw the effects of that, but, you know, getting involved with the crowd that caused me to end my career early, you know, not sure if I'll ever get over that, but that's one reason.
So can she get you back in? Is that?
She said no. She also said that I wouldn't be able to go to other branches, but the guy that I talked to last week was like, hey, you should try out other branches. So whether or not it's a possibility, I don't know. I'm getting kind of old. So I don't.
Yeah, you're what, 35, 36?
34.
Yeah, I just turned 36 yesterday. So
yeah, I'll be 35 this year. So whether I mean, I don't know. It's not a huge deal. But that's kind of the idea behind the show.
So you kind of want to cut that off?
Huh?
You want to cut that off? Your Duck Dynasty beard? You want to cut that off?
I mean, probably be a little slimmer. So cutting the beard off wouldn't hurt me as much. It's funny. You won't be able to see the double chin.
Bro, you got all of this, and this is all that comes on my chin.
Like
this is it.
No, really. Like
this is it. I line this up, like this little bit up. I line it up, but what you see here is how it grows right here.
That's it.
That's it.
No, nothing up here, nothing here.
Yeah, the little baby shoulder patch right there. That's it. That's it, man. This is what I get.
Yeah, we had guys, I mean, of course, in basic, but in my units as well. Like, yeah, I shaved last week. I was like, fuck you.
Yeah. And basic, I didn't shave at all.
Like, oh, God.
Yeah, I didn't shave at all in basic.
I didn't shave every morning. I shaved when I was in the 43rd. Fucking waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, running to the bathroom. I looked in the mirror. I had a 5 o'clock shadow from fucking. I had shaved before I left MEPS. I was like, God damn it.
Yeah, bro. I don't get any of this shit like that. This is it.
This motherfucker.
This is it. This is as long as it gets right here.
Oh my God.
Right there, and that's it. It just stops.
Yo. I don't know how it happened.
And I have a shaving profile.
What do you need it for?
So when I was, because I don't use, when I was actually
shaving profile.
Yeah, I do.
Oh my God.
So I was shaving with an actual razor, you know, to get it off, and I ended up getting a real bad ingrown hair, and man, it swelled up bad, man, to where I had to be hospitalized and shit. It was pretty bad.
Oh my God.
And it was like they had to cut into it and shit. It was like, bro, do you have a shaving profile? I was like, no. They're like, do you want one? Yes. They gave me one. Yeah, they gave me one, and now I just take clippers and like I trim it down just to keep it low, closer to the skin, but I don't shave it.
So you got that, but like you're an SLC, so like, do you got to shave to do that, or I don't understand how that works.
So technically, I don't even have to touch this at all if I don't want to because I have a shaving profile. But being me, I still take clippers and just trim it down.
Yeah.
You know, get it closer to my skin, and that's it. That's all I'll do to it. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I do. But no, I don't have to touch this at all.
So it's the shaving. Okay, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. I was like, damn, man, like you're going through school. Okay, that makes sense. That's crazy, man. So yeah, that's like the premise behind this show. I feel like is really just, and I told somebody. So I was on a guy's podcast. I want to say last week. It was Dan. I'm gonna butcher his last name because I don't actually know how you say it. I want to say it's Warhide.
Okay.
But he was an officer, I think. I want to say Army, maybe. I don't remember, but he runs the Pro Growth podcast. The Pro Growth VA is the name of his company. I want to say it's primarily focused in marketing, which is interesting. He's a veteran, good dude. I might actually get to meet him because I think he's in VA/DC area, and I want to say he's moving to Florida, possibly. I know he's down there visiting family. But I was on there, and I was talking to him, and I was like, hey, man, some of the stuff we talk about on this show is super fucked up.
Hey, speaking of that, here's my wife right here. You want to see her?
I mean, what? Oh, she video calling?
Hold on 1 second.
Hey, you ain't gonna be able to see me probably because the whole phone is crashing. So if you get a chance to you need to go get me another phone and send it.
Okay, I'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
Well,
we tried.
Yeah, that was.
Is that the connection or what?
No, our daughter and kids don't broke her phone up so bad to where she can't do much with it. So, and now she's saying I gotta go get her. Now, basically, you hear her say I gotta go get her another phone, which I'm like,
ready, say, go.
Yeah, you see how, and I'm like, man, you know how much money this is? Like, I'm thinking about how much money is going to cost for another phone. So,
yeah.
So that's what I got to think about now while I'm here. So, but anyways.
So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that this show is, I keep using the word therapy. I don't think that's the right word for it, but it's like a place. It's more for the people that I have on the show than it is for the audience.
I got you.
That's what I would say. So, of course, veterans are going to probably be the ones that consume this content.
Right.
I think it's just important to know that, you know, based off of that and, you know, some of the previous episodes, some of the conversations we get in, sure, it might not fit some of the audience. Of course, someone like you would do better with this environment. Maybe the environment we were in last week wouldn't be your forte, so to speak, but I want it to do good for the veteran community, and I want it to do good for the people who come on here. So
okay,
that's kind of the idea behind it.
So how's your girlfriend? How's she taking it?
Oh, she's good. She likes it. She's very supportive of this, except for the fact that this is her birthday weekend. So, you know, January babies are like, it's my birthday.
Yeah, I'm a January baby.
All month.
All
month. So it's January 1st. It's my birthday. So when January 25th.
So you're not gonna be with her for her birthday?
Well, I'm taking her out to dinner tomorrow. Tomorrow's her birthday.
Okay. Yep. First 14 days was quarantine, but virtual class.
Yeah. So
what you got, man?
Just you really kind of, I feel like in your career you grabbed the bull by its horn, so to speak, you know? Like really took advantage. And man, young Smeltz was a dumb motherfucker. Like, I feel like because my little sister is like 10 years younger than me, and I see a lot in her that I used to do. You know, okay. I won't listen to anyone. I live my own life, you know, so to speak. And I mean, I still got it, but I think what's great about you and what's great about having you here is that you, like I said, took advantage.
You know what? Thank you for saying that.
So I'm curious, like, what did that journey look like? Because Petrowski, who you don't know, is a very similar situation with me and him that's with me and you. We connected randomly throughout time.
Yeah.
And now he lives in Texas. I'm here. I have his number. Yeah. He's a pilot for American Airlines. Mm-hmm. So one time he flew into town. We met at Hooters, sit down, catch up. But he really said, okay, this is where I want to be. This is where I am. This is step 1, 2, 3. This is what I got to do to knock that out. So I'm curious what the journey has looked like for you.
That journey was pretty rough.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty rough. Yeah. That's within personal life as well as before joining the military life, my personal life while I'm in the military, like the decisions that I made while I was in as well. Like it was pretty rough. For me, I believe it was, even though I say it's rough, it was a rough thing, but it was a easy rough, meaning I had no problems making that decision. Like most people would probably be like, man, I don't know if I can do that or do this.
Yeah, that's
what I mean. And as well as like, I should be right now. I should be at E8.
Yeah,
my time in service, I should be at E8.
Yeah,
and I missed out on a lot because of I had the attitude of I just can't kiss people ass.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
No.
That was and I didn't like to play that political game like you were saying about the with the first arm, that the story with the first arm, like, you can't do that, that's illegal. No. Basically I played that same game and that hindered me a lot in my career as far as career progression.
Yeah.
In the end, I don't really care. I'm just being like, I don't even care. It's like, I don't care because I'm still me. I stay true to myself. But that journey was pretty rough. And how it looked, I told myself initially I wanted to join the military, but I wanted to join as an officer. But unfortunately, there were some things that happened while I was in college that forced me to join early.
Yeah.
I had to drop out of college, join early. No big deal. I wasn't even attempting when I joined. I didn't even want to being an MP didn't even cross my mind. Like it didn't even say like, I want to be a cop. Hell no, I don't like cops. Yeah. I don't like the police. Fuck what I'm for. But they were the only ones offered. Well, technically, I had over like 20 something jobs I could have chose from.
Yeah.
Till the military found out I was colorblind, and I was like, "Yo, bro, you can't do any of these cool jobs." We can only
you can do all these.
We can only give you. They said we can give you camo, and what is it called when you're up in the flight, up in the tower?
Air traffic
controller. And they said, hey, we can give you a waiver to be an MP.
So they said you can do one of these two, or you can get a waiver to be an MP.
And MP was the only one offering a bonus. And I said, well, how much is the bonus? They said $6,000. I said, I'll take it. Simple as that. That's the only reason why I became an MP.
At the end of the day, your goal was to get into the Army.
Mm-hmm.
So the job was pretty irrelevant.
Yes. So the job came second as far as what I wanted to do, but because I was being picky, like I don't want to do that. Like, I should have chose traffic controller or air traffic controller. That's the one I should have chose.
I mean,
without a bonus, because I can go to any airport in the world and work. Yeah. I can still do all the same things I'm doing now, but my background in air traffic control, you know. But, I'm not mad about being an MP because I was able to do just about almost everything the MP Corps had to offer.
Yeah.
At that time, I was SRT, I was DST, I was MPI. Only thing I didn't do was like traffic and Canine.
Well, traffic, I mean.
Like traffic, like actually get the ASI for traffic.
I mean, traffic school.
Okay. That's what I mean. Like I didn't get that. I didn't do that ASI.
Yeah.
I mean, as a road patrolman, you're already
working traffic
anyway. Yeah, you're already working it anyway. But to actually have that certificate to say, yo, you're qualified to do it, type of thing. But I really loved being an investigator. That was fun. I love doing that. SRT was fun. I put them in the same category as those are the two things that I love to do because I love SWAT. I love, that whole tactical aspect of clearing rooms and
hell yeah.
I was the shield man for my team. I was a chill man.
You were the sponge.
Loved it. Loved every bit of it. But then when I became MPI, that was a whole new. I saw a whole new aspect of law enforcement.
You said you were an investigator on Fort Hood.
Mm-hmm.
Where else?
Hood in Germany.
Okay.
I was a customs investigator though in Germany. So I was in charge of Mannheim, Stuttgart, and Heidelberg.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't.
So I had an office. Yeah, I had an office in Heidelberg and an office in Stuttgart.
Two offices.
Yeah, which is why you saw me in Mannheim.
Yeah, I fucking love that. I went to go visit my friend Shannon. I went to go visit my friend Shannon. I'm in the fucking class 6, getting beer, and you're like, Smeltz. I was like, this motherfucker.
Yep.
That was crazy shit, man. That was 2010, 2011. So it had been probably about 5 years since I had seen you.
Yeah. Until we saw each other again at Walmart.
That's crazy.
But but as an investigator, man, I saw a whole new. I just was exposed to a lot more on the law enforcement side that I didn't know existed.
Yeah.
Truly, which was amazing. I learned a lot. But once I got the hood and I got a different part of investigation, because being shot at, I didn't like.
Nope.
I didn't like that. I didn't, you have meth labs, prostitution rings all on base.
Oh yeah.
Like all the shit. You were
yeah.
MP, bro, so you know all the shit that happens on base that the world doesn't know.
Yeah.
Have no idea what's going on.
Not just that, but it was Fort Hood, man. Like Fort Hood was the worst for shit like that.
God, man.
Everything.
Domestic violence every day. I've seen the most craziest shit when it comes to domestic violence. Like one of the spouses, she's a teacher, and it's like a Tuesday. I'm like, why are you guys having fucking shouldn't you be grading papers? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I'm confused. Like, it's Tuesday. Like, you got school tomorrow. Like, you're a teacher. Why are you and him going at it over a receipt? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I'm confused. Like, and I'm bringing like logic to them, and she's looking at me like, well, you're right. I'm like, yeah, it's Tuesday night. Like, Tuesday. It's a Tuesday. Your kids are sitting at the table doing their homework. You're supposed to be grading papers for your students. Like, and your spouse, the military guy, should be getting ready for tomorrow for PT. Like, I'm confused with what the hell this is.
What's the argument over? Like, why are y'all here?
I've seen some crazy shit though as an investigator, man. I've seen like weird stuff, but then I've seen some things that went all the way up to the FBI. Things that CIA had to get involved in as well that got pushed further out of our spectrum. I've done some UC work.
That irritated the shit out of me because I don't remember what I called them before, but we did a drug bust in there on Fort Hood, and I was one of the escorts. So they fucking executed, and then they were like Alpha fucking 1, 2, whatever. I go over there, so I get out, and they were like, hey, he's already cuffed, or here's this guy, whatever. Maybe I had to cuff him. We used zip ties. They were like, you got to search him, transport him to CID. So I did. And the entire time, I'm like, I had to run a Region 6. What's your social? I'm a UC. I didn't know what the fuck that meant. So this guy is sitting in the back of my fucking patrol car being a dickhead. And I'm like, that's cool that you know letters. What is your social? I'll probably asked him like 10 times. I kept going, look, man, I'm supposed to run this before I transport you. You still ain't told me your social. I need to run a Region 6. Like, what's your social? What's your birthday? Finally gave it to me. I run a Region 6. Comes back clean.
Yeah.
Duh.
He's like, duh.
Yo, we get inside. And the fucking CID investigator, whatever, the dude with the tie. Like, of course, we put him against the wall. I search him. Then that guy searches him. Thank fucking God. Like those movies we saw in basic training. were crazy enough. Like, dude just pulls a gun out and shoots himself in the fucking face. Like, that's why you search people. And you search them before you hand them off, and then the guy you hand them off to searches them. Like, never take too many precautions. So he searches them, and then he takes the cuffs off. It's flexicuffs. But instead of cutting them, he reaches in with a knife and he presses the thing, and he undoes it. And I'm like, that's weird. Like, you could just get more. We could use handcuffs. Like, I have handcuffs. Like, why is he being so careful? So anyways, then he escorts this guy back around the corner, whatever. I'm still at the front. Like, we're processing like 3 or 4 other people involved in it. It was spice. It was like somebody making spice. It was bad. It was so fucking dumb. Like, when you think about it, if you're going to deal weed, you could just grow marijuana plants and do it. No, these motherfuckers are making spice. It was like a husband and wife operation, and they were moving, so the entire thing was inside of the U-Haul. Yeah. And that's
they were mobile. They were mobile doing that shit.
That's when we executed the bust at Popeyes on Fort Hood at fucking 3:00 in the morning. So anyways, we're processing, and then this motherfucker I just arrested walks back around the corner. He's wearing like a button-up shirt, sleeves rolled up with slacks. Hey, what's up, man? I'm whatever the fuck his name was. I was like, what? He's like, I'm a UC. I'm like, look, let's just get on the same page. Now that you're like shaking my hand and shit, I don't know what the fuck that means. He's like, it's undercover. I was like, God damn it, man. I was like, why didn't you just say that? I was like, we were in a patrol car by ourselves. The only other person that could hear us is a camera. You could have just said, I'm undercover, and then I'm not going to try to run a Region 6 on your ass. Like, God damn it. I'm doing it. What if I had done a local warrants check, and this dude comes back for some shit? Like, well, you were a UC, but now, I'm like, God damn it, man.
Oh, that's great.
I was so mad. I was so mad. So that's cool. You got to do it.
Yo, did he laugh at you? Did he laugh at your ass? Like,
he thought it was funny. He was cool as shit, dude. He was really cool as shit. But I was like,
it's funny.
He was like, I'm DST, I'm a UC. Like, it was crazy, dude. Like, I'm all over Fort Hood. I know all the K9 people. I know all MPI. I network. I talk. I talk.
How
classes.
did we not run across each other?
Know. I don't.
There's no way. Did you know Mario? Did you know Mario? Hispanic guy, short. Peoples, Sergeant Wade.
I mean,
Wade Peoples. That spelling of Peoples is not the same regular spelling you would think people. Like, no, it was like POEPPLE. It was weird spelling for Peoples. Wade Peoples. I can't even remember. Houck.
They all sound very familiar. It's just like, so when I taught,
you got there in 12, right?
Yeah.
But
when I got there in 12, I went to the 401st, which was 720th Battalion, obviously, because I was the only battalion under the 89th at Fort Hood, which was weird because the 89th headquarters was across the street.
Yeah.
Yep. But I was 401st. I mean, I got there in January. I want to say we were in the field, so we weren't on.
Oh, y'all was like green cycle or something.
Yeah, we weren't necessarily on that. And then by the time we did hit, road cycle, I can't remember when that was, man. I don't remember. Like, I got stories galore, but including arresting a UC and trying to run a Region 6.
Man. So what year was this when this all happened?
That drug bust?
Yeah.
Dude, I couldn't tell you, man. I was there 2012 to 2015.
Right.
I got out January of 2015. I mean, this could have been 13. It could have been 14.
See, so I got there the end of 12, November, because it was around Thanksgiving time frame.
Because when one of the reasons I didn't hit the road right away is because you had to go through their LE cert.
Yep. And then you had to do that. You had to get that Texas. You have to, in order for you to even work the road in Texas at all, you got to go through that Texas law enforcement portion to even qualify you to even work the road. So I know what you're talking about.
And we had the guest speaker. What was that dude's name? He was so funny. I want to say it was Sergeant Major Williams, maybe. It was a black guy. He was hefty.
I don't remember.
He would talk like this and point like this.
Man,
it was funny because it was like the knife hand, but it was
open. So I don't remember much about the leadership at Hood. I got there. As soon as I got there, they were like, "Hey, look." I specifically told the team chief, like, "Hey, look, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm dropping a CA packet. I'm going to assessment. That's where I'm going." He said, "Okay." He just didn't know that I would be selected. And like, he knew that I'll probably get selected, but he didn't know that I'll be leaving that quick. I wasn't even there 12 months.
Yeah.
I was already gone.
Oh.
They had already PCS me. Like, I literally PCS from Germany there. I was there a good 6-7 months. And then PCS. Yep. PCS'd again.
Yeah.
So I'm on my, 6th, 7th PCS move, duty station. And then I got to come back, which will make it my 7th or 8th, somewhere between there.
So tell me about that. Like, you keep saying CA, but like, what is that? What do you do?
So
what does that look like? Because I know special forces, but like,
so special forces is pretty easy for you to understand that. You know, their whole job is to be the special subject matter experts and like training the indigenous force, right, in different countries, right? That's literally what their job is, to train them on all forms of tactics, like you know.
So I played Op 4 for group down at Fort Polk, and it's good that you say that because that's basically what it looked like. So we weren't the actual opposition force. We pretended to be. It was very difficult for them because they were supposed to teach us shit like how to clear a room.
Yes, so you guys were the guerrilla force. We
already knew how to clear a room, so it's like you have to pretend like you don't so we can teach you.
Yes. So you guys were the guerrilla force that they were training to either. I understand. I
had no idea at the time that was like their primary mission.
Yes, that is.
I had no
that
idea.
is what SF is. Special Forces. That's what they are. That's what they're for. That's it. Now, all the extra shit that you try to see them doing in movies and or what some of them try to do, that's not their job. Their job is not to kick in doors. Their job is not to shoot the bad guy in the face. No, their job is to train the indigenous to shoot the guy in the face and guide them and coach them how to do that the appropriate way. Hold on one second. Actually, my daughter.
Oh, you're good.
Hello? Yes, babe. I know who it is. I know who it is. Okay. Well, all right. I'll call you. I'll call Brianna's phone back when I'm done. All right. Bye. So, that is their job. PsyOps, their job is to, they have a little bit more trickier job, but basically influencing people to do things or think things in a way of it's coming from them.
It's like I feel like PsyOps is like sales.
No.
It's like, because
I understand what you're saying.
It's interpersonal communication from a level of
No, not at all. No. PsyOps is literally, put it this way. You've seen like little cartoons and stuff like that where the less smarter person, the more intelligent person's like, yo, I want this guy, I want to manipulate him to do what I want.
Yeah.
But I want that person to think it's their idea, not mine.
Sales. Have you ever done sales?
Yes and no. But see, yes and no.
I feel like, because at the end of the day, in sales, even right now, we're involved in a sale. So I'm trying to sell you on the idea that PsyOps is comparable to sales. The only reason I bring that up is the half the fucking books on that shelf right there are about sales. So it's all communication. It's all,
but that's the
psychological.
Thing. But see, that's the thing. They don't physically. They really don't have the interpersonal skills to really do that. The IP skills.
Okay.
Everything is behind the curtain through media, through different telecommunications.
Oh fuck. Okay.
Keep going. What I'm saying?
No.
So they're not face to face.
Yeah.
They're not doing this. They don't do that.
So psyops, I feel like, is a little bit more broad than what I was thinking.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, it is. I'm not psyops, so I don't really want to give more than what.
So you're not SF, you're not psyops.
No, I'm civil affairs, which is all three branches still have to go through their own particular assessment. We all have and once you get selected, we all go through our own specific Q qualification course, our Q course.
How many CA are there? Like, is that
it's a small number still.
Okay.
Like just like SF, it's still a small numbers because you have 1% of the U.S. population is actually in the military.
Right.
And then turn around, you're looking at less than 1% go special operations, and then the deeper down that hole you go, it's even smaller. So yeah, we're a small community. 9 times out of 10, we know of that person. Like, oh man, I remember that name. I probably graduated with that, or I know 9 times out of 10, I remember the people I graduated with, but we go to different battalions.
Do you lead soldiers, or
yes.
Are you really?
You do lead. So you're a 4-man team. 2 to 4-man team,
okay.
Predominantly a 4-man team that you're on. So you have your team leader, your team sergeant, your CA NCO, or now civil reconnaissance NCO.
Okay.
And you have your team medic, which is equivalent to a 18 Delta. Because a 18 Delta just goes to SOCM. Our medics go to SOCM. They're SOCM medics.
Yeah.
It's just when you hear an 18 Delta, you think, oh, he's fucking high speed. Bro, my CA medic is equivalent to him. Like,
exactly. Maybe different title. Maybe different.
Just he special forces. Letters. He CA. Oh, okay. That's literally it. Like,
so does CA, like, do they wear, like, SF is green berets, right?
Yes. So
does CA wear green berets?
No. So I'm glad you brought that up. So for CA, so now we are putting in the works of adopting a different color beret. So you have the green berets, you have PSYOPs is going to have a gray beret, but theirs is like I can show you. I have pictures of them. CA will be having the emerald gray beret, which actually all 3 berets look pretty fucking dope next to each other. Actually, I can show you.
I'm not a huge fan of the beret overall.
Well, you know what?
I think the number one reason I ask is, like, you know.
So that's.
Oh, okay.
The one in the middle would be the CA one. The one at the bottom would be PSYOPs.
Interesting.
Yeah.
First.
Yeah, so we'll all have our own particular beret designated specifically for us. They're also changing, like, our MOS nomenclature. Instead of it being a 38 Bravo or 38 Alpha, it'll be 38 Romeo, 38 Whiskey for the medic, 38 Romeo for the NCO. And the teams are going to be a 38 Zulu, and the team leader will be a 38 Sierra. But only 38 Bravos, that will only be for reserve and National Guardists, which is great because reservists do not go through the same process active duty do to become a 38. They're not language qualified. They don't go through assessment and selection. They don't do any of that shit.
So you had to go through assessment and selection.
Mm-hmm.
You had to be language qualified.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. So you got to do all this shit, and they don't have to do it.
Nope. They're more like, the reservists are like,
why? I don't understand. If they do the same job, like, why do they?
But that's the thing. They technically don't do this. That's why us as active duty CA, we have a kind of an issue with the reserve portion, because they claim to be CA, but they're not. Because they do not do what we do at all.
What is their purpose?
Their job is they're a subject matter expert in their particular field on the civilian side. So you might have, coincidentally, in my slush tiller, which is equivalent to the to Special Forces Robin Sage, our slush tiller, we had a rocket scientist that was coming reservist CA. But he's a rocket scientist, like he builds rockets and shit, that's what he is. Another guy was an actual construction engineer. that's what he does outside. So us as active duty, when we go to other countries and we say, hey man, we need, I don't know shit about rockets. I don't know a fucking thing about a rocket. We can call up the reservists and say, hey, we need that guy because he specializes in that. He can come, and that his job is specifically about rockets, but he's CA. Now, as far as everything else that we do as CA, he doesn't do that. It's
That's
not what
crazy.
That's what he's for.
So what is your primary role, like under what? Because obviously it sounds like reservists and stuff like that who are CA, it sounds like they have a specialization. Like they have so it kind of reminds me, like right now, don't judge me, I'm rewatching Scrubs.
Okay.
So it kind of makes me think about that, like where a lot of the doctors are general and then they have specialists.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the specialist has this one thing that they know everything about.
Right.
So does that mean that your role is more general, or what?
Our role is deeper than that. Our role is a lot deeper than that. We fall in a deeper and bigger category. But on to keep it simple.
This is interesting to me because you're literally the only person I've ever met who is CA.
So to keep it simple, just to say. To keep it simple, CA is a benign force that can go to an austere environment and gather information. For whatever reason that may be. We can gather information. We can do and go wherever we need to go to gather information for our partner forces.
Gather information.
Yeah, just simply gather information.
If
so basically we're able to go and find out what someone needs. Like, you need that. Why do you need that? How can we get that to you? But what can we get for that?
So when I deployed to Iraq, our general mission was detainee operations.
Mm-hmm.
What role would CA play either in Iraq?
So coincidentally, I just got back from Syria before going to Africa.
Okay.
I was there I actually was there for the Turkey invasion. They actually invaded my team's AO. Like the whole northern portion of Syria was my AO. Me and my team's AO. And it was pretty bad. That's a whole different story. That's a whole nother segment dealing with that one. But ours was counterterrorism. Our mission was counterterrorism, and conduct civil reconnaissance and conduct civil affairs operations. Now, civil affairs operations, civil reconnaissance, that's pretty vague, right? It's pretty out there. We understand what that means. We got it. But it goes even deeper than that. We have to read between the lines on the mission. We understand that portion, but it's even deeper. It's a lot of red there's a lot of classified stuff that we have to do, that we're able to do, that we're supposed to be doing. That's about as much as I can.
Yeah.
But we weren't there long. We were there maybe 3.5 months until Turkey, the shit Turkey did happen. So that was pretty bad. That was pretty rough.
That's crazy.
Man, that was a rough deployment right there.
That's interesting. I mean, I tell people all the time, I went to Iraq the end of July 2007, came back October of 2008.
Mm-hmm.
I tell everyone it was a cush deployment. I mean, to be honest with you, like, I think we just got lucky. Mm-hmm. We got rocketed. What
base? What five did you live on?
So our permanent home was like right across from the Fleury on Camp Victory.
Okay.
We were part of VBC, but when we first got there, we worked Cropper for a month and a half. Yeah. So then we were on Cropper. Then when we went to Victory, or Camp Liberty rather,
yeah.
We picked up dead ops where we were transporting high values to and from VBC to the green zone.
Yeah.
On Union 3, so we had a temporary home out there as well.
See, that's funny because your primary mission was detainee ops when you were there. My mission out there was combat patrols and train the IPs and IAs. And then we did some side
training the IPs. You did what was it called? PTTs, I think.
Something like that. So long.
I don't know what it was called, but
a long time ago.
Girl from my unit, her and actually this other guy who ended up being my ops sergeant in Germany, Daniel Port.
Okay.
Him and her were both in the same company, and they were doing those missions straight down the pad from us. So basically, they would wake up and roll out and train IPs and stuff on shit like that. And we, transported and guarded high value. I tell everyone, which is true, I tell everyone if Saddam Hussein was alive while I was over there, I would have met him.
So my brother, which is at 18, he's at 18 Fox, actually. He's here at Bragg, going through NDU, National Defense University, for his master's right now. At the time, he was a nutrition specialist. He was the one feeding Saddam at that time. And when all that was going down, and I actually was there to cordon on what base is it where they hung him at? I was there to watch them hang him and the group of people and shit. So
you were there?
Yeah, I was part of that. The cordon. Shit. Yeah, so that was pretty.
Operation Silver Scorpion.
I can't remember.
That's what we called it, the Death House.
I can't remember the name.
Because I got a tour of that.
And Freedom. I think Freedom was the name of the base.
So.
It was Freedom. It was right off the Tigris River.
Yeah, I think so.
Right off the Tigris.
So we went up there because we ran that operation while we were there. So Chemical Ali, Saddam Hussein's half brother, his uncle, all those guys, we were guarding them. We were part of making sure that, they had what they needed. They went through their court proceedings and whatnot. And whenever one got sentenced to death, so we went up there, we would run Operation Silver Scorpion. But if one of them, so I got to tour the death house, and they were like, this is where we keep them. This is where they do their prayer. This is where we hang them, pull this lever, the gallows fall, whatever.
Yep.
I walked down below. But whenever it was actually taking place, no Americans were allowed inside of the death house. Yeah. Because they were like, oh, the media and this and the third, like we don't.
So me and my squad, we were there and we were cordon.
That's fucking all of that crazy.
For that. Yeah, that was an interesting time.
Yeah.
But I was there 15 months, man. They was like, yo, you guys are only going to do 12. Bro, we was 21 days out.
What year was that?
0607.
Yep.
0607.
Yep.
Initially, there was like, hey, you guys are going to Fallujah or Ramadi. We're like, all right. Then we get to Kuwait. We do our little training out there. Then like, hey, you guys are going to Fallujah. We're like, thought we were going to Ramadi. No, you're going to Fallujah. I'm like, the fuck? That's just worse. Like, what's going on? So now we got you got young guys wrapping their mind around like dying. Like, we can
Let's
die.
Get ready to not go home.
Like, we're getting mentally straight. Granted, I didn't have kids. I wasn't married. I didn't have any of that shit. So it's like, all right, but it's like, yo, my mom, my family, like, fuck. Like, how do I tell them this is where I'm going now?
Shit.
Then we finally, we get the Baghdad. We get there, and the MPs were getting fucked up there so bad. To where they're like, hey, guys, you guys aren't going to Fallujah or Ramadi. You guys are going to have to stay here. I'm like, what? Like, goddamn, I just got mentally ready, like pumped, blood going for this. And we're supposed to like convoy out to Ramadi or Fallujah. First time leaving the wire, and that didn't happen. We ended up staying at Liberty and based out of Liberty and conducting our missions out in Baghdad, man. And it was in Taji area and shit. And I was like, man, like, all right. I was there for the Haifa Street raids. I don't know if you remember Crosshairs. Well, see, you really didn't. You really stayed most of on Cropper area and going back and forth to your spot, right?
Yeah. So from Liberty to the green zone,
Downright Irish.
IHT, yeah, Downright Irish. So IHT was part of Union 3 right inside the green zone.
Yeah.
So we went to the embassy and we did other special missions like the Green Door and, making sure that people were secured and escorted and stuff like that. But the bulk of our mission as a platoon was IHT, so high value people from Compound 5 on Cropper out to IHT. And then, of course, we had other platoons. So we had one platoon on air missions.
Mm-hmm.
That was boring as fuck. They were borderline fobbits. And they would kill me if they heard me say that. But they were borderline fobbits. And I don't blame them for getting where they were. Like, sometimes one of them would tase a detainee and end up with Article 15.
So since you were detainee ops, I was already gone by the time you got there, or getting ready to leave by the time you got there.
Yeah.
So
I got to Cropper. I mean, we probably didn't get to Cropper till August 2007.
So I left in September.
So
but what I'm saying is like we were running the missions that were releasing your detainees. So you guys would release detainees out at the bus station down in Baghdad. So what would happen is we would have to we'll take that special mission, go all the way to the bus station, clear it completely out. When I say bus station, it's like a Greyhound style bus station in a way. How would you consider a Greyhound area? We would get all their buses, everybody out of there.
Yeah.
We'd be like, yo, get the fuck out. It's locked down. No one in or out.
Yeah.
And your people would drive a bus all the way down to that bus station, and that's where they would release the retainees that were basically leaving prison. Like they were free. And the only reason why they started doing that is because they were killing a lot of the people that were being released.
Get released and
like you had ICE or what was the name of the terrorists back then?
I don't know. They fucking change their name every other fucking day. ISIS, Al Qaeda,
the bad dudes have been fucking murking them and blowing them up and shit. So we had to fucking bring.
Because they're like, oh, you were with the cops and you
were with the U.S. Yep.
Fuck you.
Yep. And so we had to. So we would have to. We would get Canine, the bomb dogs, to come with us on these missions, clear out the thing, and we would sit there forever, how long it took for the bus to get there, drop them off, and then for them to leave. So we couldn't leave until the bus was gone and the people were gone.
That's funny.
And you would have family members of the people that are being released outside, like waiting for their family, like, oh my God, like, for their mom, cousin, whoever, to be released. And we're like, hey, once they're off, y'all need to get the fuck away from here.
Go.
Yeah, that way. And once that happened, it cleared out. We'll done for the day. We'll come back. That was some of our side missions we would do. We did some other side missions.
That's crazy.
That was pretty hectic, actually. It's pretty fucked up. We ended up serving some warrants with the IPs. Yeah, serving some warrants.
I didn't know that Iraq had warrants.
Yeah, not real ones, but not an official like. It was more like, hey, we need to go get this guy because he's a known Al Qaeda or bomb maker, blah 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 blah.
Okay,
we're gonna go arrest them. So the term warrant is probably coming from us. Like, hey, we're using that term. We're going to go serve this warrant to go grab him. We did that. we did that. That was pretty intense. Serving warrants with these guys.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you left in September, I mean, I think we worked. Because obviously we got to Kuwait. I think we left the end of July. We got to Kuwait. We stayed there for 2 weeks. We left Kuwait. We went to Cropper. We worked Cropper for a month and a half, but we probably worked Cropper for a week or 2 weeks, learning the job.
Right.
And then we worked it for a month and a half. I want to say around October is when we went to Pad 15 on Liberty. Because
I lived on Liberty.
Yeah, and that's when we went over there, took over 551, took over their mission, and I mean, by that time you were already gone. So
Yep.
yeah, in October.
Yeah, my next deployment though was Mongolia. Mongolia, CA. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And then
That's what's crazy about it to me. Like being CA, like they're just like, hey, we need you to go over here.
well, I'm a PACOM guy. I'm a Asian speaker, so my AOR is Asian.
Asian speaker.
Yeah, I speak Tagalog. I'm a Tagalog speaker.
Oh,
Filipino.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep, I'm a Filipino speaker. So that's why I'm gonna go to countries within Asia as far as when I finally come back to the brigade to USASOC.
Yeah.
I'll be pushed out to. They're probably gonna only send me to the 97 because I'm a Tagalog speaker. Doesn't make sense for them to send me to the 92nd, 91st. You know, it's like because that's UCOM or AFRICOM. The only reason why I'm even in Africa stationed there is because it's a broadening assignment. That's it. It's just a broadening assignment. So, which is good. I'm actually enjoying being there. So,
that's funny. That's crazy. I dated a Filipino in Texas. That's where I learned my Tagalog. It's not appropriate.
Okay.
Very limited.
Peck.
Very colorful.
Yes. Yes, it is.
That's crazy. I didn't know, like, from a language perspective that they would send you through school to learn a language that, you know, I feel like Tagalog isn't widespread, you know?
It's Philippines, man. We're in the Philippines. It's a huge CT threat there.
So if you're, like, sent on a mission or something like that, is that, you know, does that cover a more broad area or is it specifically Philippines?
No, it's broad. So it's all of Asia. So my last team, we had 2 Korean speakers and 2 Tagalog speakers on there. My team before that, we had a Korean speaker, an Indo speaker, a Mandarin speaker, and then me, a Tagalog speaker.
Holy shit.
Now, mind you, the country we went to was Mongolia.
Yeah.
None of our languages can be spoken there besides Chinese. Chinese can be spoken there because that's more like a second or third language that can be spoken because of Mongolian. But Mongolian is the actual language spoken there. Then they also speak a little Russian as well because it's north, and then Mandarin south. So some of them can speak Mandarin as well. So you can kind of make it speaking Mandarin. But I don't speak any one of them fucking languages, so it doesn't matter. I'm in Guinea. Guinea, they speak French, or they speak French, or they speak their tribal languages. So you have Mandingo, you have Susu, you have Fulani, and then some of them can speak a little English, but English is not a primary language there.
Yeah.
So I don't speak French. So I'm learning to try to speak French, though. I'm actually learning, but
so you said your family's over there. Like, what does that look like?
What do you mean?
From a living standpoint,
bro? If I sent you the videos right now, you'd be like, "Yo, you're fucking MTV Cribs right there." That's the fuck. Like, yeah, marble floors, spiral staircases, swimming pool in the backyard. Like, you would think I'm living like a king.
Well, overseas, I mean,
just in general, you'd be like, "Yo, you're living overseas."
I feel like a lot of times when you leave the country, you know, when you leave the U.S., you see stuff like that. So a buddy of mine is 65 plus. He was in investments and insurance for 40 years. He gave me some of the books or recommendations for books that are on that shelf. And I want to say his son is in Chile.
Okay.
So he met a girl, I want to say up here in school. Ended up moving down there. She wanted to be close to her family. So he goes there to visit sometimes. Now, I wouldn't say from an earnings standpoint that his son and his daughter-in-law are like rolling.
Yeah.
But it's like they make enough doing what they do, which is a lot of technology, like internet-based type stuff, that they have a nanny They have the marble floors. They have the.
That's funny because we're actually looking for a chef.
Yeah.
And a housekeeper. That's
so it's like, like over there, like it's like over there in Chile, the median wage here allows you to afford certain things like that over there. So it's like.
No, I understand. Yeah.
I mean, the fact that you bring that up is like, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Sure, you should start MTV Cribs 2.0. You know,
like.
But it's like,
but my country that I'm in is a third world country. It's pretty poor. It is. It's pretty poor.
Yeah.
But you know, I have no problem being there. I actually do well with less.
Yeah.
But the fact that my family's there, you know, my wife and kids, you know, they've never lived in a third world country before. They've never been anywhere where power is scarce.
Yeah.
Electricity is scarce, or internet is it goes in and out or scarce. You know, so me, I'm cool. Like, oh man, you know, power's out, generator kicks on, internet goes out, fuck it. You know, that's me.
Yeah.
But for them, you know, they're kids. You know, I have an 18-year-old, 11-year-old, and a 3-year-old. You know, my 3-year-old, he can kind of bounce around and just random shit. But my older two, man, they fucking, and they're girls too. So internet, no Instagram and other bullshit.
Take the picture and do the TikTok and
so they're all over the place.
That's crazy.
But they finally, you know,
kind of
adjusted pretty well. That's crazy, so far, man. Now. So, and we've been there since September.
Okay,
end of September to now.
So I think you mentioned what type of like assignment that is before, but like once you're done there, do you know where you're going?
I'm gonna come right back here.
Yeah.
For a fact, I'm gonna come back here unless I talk to HRC and say, hey, is there another broadening assignment I can do in Africa or another or somewhere in like South America or in UCOM that I can get and work out of an MC there too? He more than likely he's probably not gonna give it to me because he's gonna want me for career progression.
Yeah.
To take that next step.
Yeah.
You know, which is fine.
Yeah.
You know, but I could do that. But 9 times out of 10, I'm coming right back here at Bragg because the regiment is here. So
okay.
Yeah.
What is your so I mean, you mentioned you got 3 kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're married. How do they handle? Because I know with the military, you move around a lot. So how do they handle that? Like,
so my wife, she's tough. She's pretty tough. But my youngest daughter. That's the one that goes ape shit.
The 11-year-old.
She goes ape shit. She goes ape shit. Like she'll go to school and just say, fuck all of this. I ain't doing it. Like I want my daddy here type shit. Like to where my wife has to call me and say, hey, Kasai's acting up in school because you're not there. Like you're not here. I'm like, what? Like I only been going a week. Like, what's going on? I gotta tell her, like, hey, you can't be doing that. Like, that's not okay. Like, I gotta understand what you're going through, but you need to do better.
Daddy's not here.
Like, she'll
that's
freak.
Crazy.
Yeah. So she has to at least hear my voice, or I gotta talk to at least her at least once or a couple times a week. Like, definitely once a day, at least video her. She see me, okay, she's good, but nah, she does not take it very well at all. She's right now she's sleeping on my side of the bed with my shirt and all that other shit. Like,
oh, dad's gone, I own this now.
Yeah, and I need to smell his scent, like all of it. That's her.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Then when I get home, she'll be like, no, daddy, get away. No, daddy. No, daddy. Like, that's her. She's a mess, man. My son, he kind of adopts a little bit what his sister does. Like, oh, I miss daddy.
Yeah.
You know, when's daddy coming home? Can I talk to daddy? That type of thing, which is fine.
He's 3?
Yeah, he's 3.
Okay.
You know,
they're spread out there.
Yeah, he turns 4 actually on the February 18th.
Oh shit. Are you gonna be home for that?
No,
bro.
I'm missing. So I miss.
No, I know. Man.
I'm missing I miss my birthday.
Yeah.
I'm missing my 13-year anniversary.
Oh shit.
I'm missing Valentine's Day and my son's birthday. Yeah.
That Valentine's Day.
Yep.
That anniversary.
13 years, bro.
Nah.
13.
Nah.
A solid 13 too. A rough ass 13.
Yeah.
Like gun wounds and wounds and slashes, bro. Scars, bro. 13. Yeah.
That's crazy, man. That's why like I work a sales job in B2B, and they're like, yeah, my family was going on vacation to California for a week and I didn't get to go. And I'm like, boo fucking who, motherfucker? Yeah. Oh, you didn't get to go on vacation with your family to California. Holy fucking shit. Yeah. I have missed high school, college graduation.
Yeah, right.
Weddings, birthdays. Like, I don't want to fucking hear your bullshit. Like, oh my God.
It's funny you say that because, this past year for the basketball, the NBA, dealing with the bubble.
Yeah.
And, you had players like going crazy about, we're stuck in this bubble. Like, we can't see our family and our kids and shit like that. And I'm like, man, I don't give a fuck about that. Like, y'all complaining about 3 months of being in a bubble away from your family? Like, the fuck out of here, bro. Yeah. Go years without seeing the motherfuckers. Like, I don't want to hear that shit. Like, man, y'all have internet. Y'all can fucking video all of that shit.
Yeah.
And you're complaining. Like, and then if they lose, they leave the bubble. Like, bro, your team's done for playoffs. Like, y'all done. You get to go home. Like, what you complaining for? Like, I don't want to hear that shit, man.
How long is the playoffs?
What is it?
Not a sports guy, so.
I can't even tell you how long NBA playoffs is, but the fact is if you get bumped out of the playoffs, you're done.
That's it.
The season's done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. So you got to understand, like, it's best out of 7.
Yeah.
It's best out of 7. So you lose 4 games, you're done.
That's it.
Your playoff life is over. Go home. See you next year.
They're like, no, we don't get to see our family.
So if you're like, say what it was the Lakers and the Lakers beat, who the hell did they beat? I can't even remember, bro. It's funny and it just happened. But the Lakers just won the NBA championship. They just won. And basically them and the team that they played against were the longest as far as within the bubble that the NBA had. Just what, 2 months?
No.
Come on, guys. Like, stop it. Like, I don't want to hear you complaining about you missing your family and you're stressed out.
Yeah.
No, don't want to hear any of it. Like, ESPN shouldn't even be bringing that shit up.
So, I guess this would, I guess it borderlines political, but I think I know how you feel already about people talking about celebrities and sports, superstars equating them to service members. Like they're heroes.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like what you've been through versus what
they're not the same.
And NBA Jack signing a multi-million-dollar contract.
You know what?
To go spend 3 months away from his.
I can't. I have no ill will towards that as far as that aspect. That doesn't bother me at all. I just wish I would have stayed in the sports like I should have and probably could have been that same guy. You know what I mean? I got it. They're making millions to play a child's game.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm all for the entertainment. I don't mind getting into politics. I don't mind that at all.
No.
They have a voice, they have a platform, use it.
No.
But once they start crossing the line of we're the same as our military, no, you're not.
No.
Like, you're not even the same as a Pogue. You know what I'm saying? Like, wire weasel. You're not even you're not even the same as them. Don't do that.
Yeah.
That's a line you don't cross. Now, like I said, I have no problem with them voicing their opinion on politics and, injustice or whatever cause they may have. It could be anything. Cancer. I don't give a shit. OBG,
you spend so much time and energy.
The LMNOP group, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Like I'm okay with them doing that. That's perfectly fine. But when you get some that try to
She lives upstairs. I should have told you the rule. Hey.
How you doing? I saw them when they left.
Yeah.
I pulled up and was like, I wonder if this is the house. No,
you're good. I just paused because I have to edit it out, so it's like it's easier if we just pause.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just asked for that purpose. Like, I think I would compare it to, because some people are like, oh, our basketball players, football players are heroes because of XYZ. And what I compare it to is the guy who is like, well, I was going to join the military, but. And it's like you and I have both been there where I served beside people who, you said you're fucking colorblind.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I was going to join, but I'm colorblind. Well, that's a cute fucking story, but I actually know a guy.
Yeah. So it's funny. Okay, so on that aspect, so I don't mind people calling them heroes, but in the sense of, because I want my son and daughters to look at, athletes or anyone that they inspire to be like as their hero, because they overcame whatever they overcame to get to where they are to make those millions. That's perfectly fine. I'm okay with that definition of a hero, or, because they exude integrity in that sport, or they're all about like voicing their opinion and, and overcome. Look, I'm a LeBron fan. I love the dude. To me, I think he's a hero in a sense, not in the sense of the hero of he'll take a bullet for you, or I'll share that foxhole with him. Not in that sense, but he is somebody I would look to and be like, that's a hell of a man right there. He's raising young men
because of what he went through.
Like
what he stands
for. Yes, like
his values.
To me, I can say that's a hero right there. Got it. Now, the ones you're talking about that tries to equate as a hero, as in like,
I feel like a lot of times when that happens, it's always someone third party.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always someone in the news going, LeBron is the same as our soldiers. It's always someone who's outside. And it's like, at the end of the day.
You know what, to add to that, I don't think, I can't speak for him, but I want to believe he would never think that himself.
Yeah, but I think what you said is super valuable. So I got to be honest with you, like the perspective that you just put on it is important. Because if you have kids, if you're someone who is raising a family in today's day and age, and you take a look at the people that they look up to, heroes play an important role.
Mm-hmm.
And they can come in many different forms. So equating one person to another for a third party to exploit propaganda is not necessarily right. But if you're a father, if you're a mother, and your children have people that they look up to, it's not the word hero that is the issue.
Mm-hmm.
What's most important is the person's values. So at the end of the day, if your children looked up to someone who did not hold decent values, if your children looked up to someone and they were like, oh, that person's our hero, and their values were being messy and not taking care of the environment and being rude to other people,
or just being a human, like,
then you would, So you would have a super big issue with them looking up to someone who set a bad example.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, if the person that they look up to, if the person that your children look up to is their hero, and their hero demonstrates positive human qualities such as kindness, then that's something that you support. That's something that we all should support, you know? So I think it's just that third party, you know, that news broadcaster that's just like, oh, Charles Canady is the same as LeBron James and vice versa. And it's like, let's hold up.
Yeah, like, time out. Like, no, definitely not.
One of us been shot at. The other guy worked really hard to get good at a skill.
Yes. Like I've been blown up, shot at, like all that shit. So no, stop it. But okay, you know,
fucking years, man. So, what is it? I mean, what does the long term look like for you? Obviously, at this point, you gotta retire, right?
Yeah. So I'm going.
You got to.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely. It'll be stupid.
Okay.
Something's wrong up here if I don't retire. But my thing is I still have plans to do more. So I don't think I'm going to retire at 20.
Really?
Yeah. I probably will not be retiring at 20 years. It'll probably be more like 25. Only because of what I'm trying to do when I get out.
Ladies and gentlemen, future command sergeant major of the Army.
I won't even be enlisted anymore. if my course of action, my two colas work.
Okay.
If one of the two work the way I want it to work, I will not be enlisted anymore. And I'll be deeper down that rabbit hole. And eventually working for a 3-letter agency that I want to work for when I get out. So I like to travel, man.
Do you know which one?
Yes.
Do you have an idea?
Absolutely. I know what one I want. Okay. That 3-letter agency.
I got a lieutenant down at Fort Polk that got out and went that direction. Of course, he was a lieutenant. I think he served 4 or 5 years, you know.
That's exactly where I want to go. And it's just, like I said, I like to travel, man. I've been all around the world about 10 different times.
Yeah.
You know, I've been able to go to some countries and cities for leisure with me and my family.
Okay.
I have. I've been able to go to Spain.
Nice.
Different cities in Spain, different cities in France, different cities in Italy. Yeah. I did a whole Mediterranean cruise when I was stationed in Germany when I was there.
While you were with your wife.
Yep, and kids. Yep. I've been.
You're putting pressure on me right now.
I was able to do.
You're good. Yeah, you're good. I'll check it. Yeah. It's okay.
So yeah, I've been around the world a good bit, back and forth. Good bit. Some, not my choice. Most of it. I say most of it was not my choice. It was just, luck of the draw on that one. And then once I was like being over in Germany, I chose to go to Germany, but I was like, well, hell, I'm over here. Let's go see some other things, while I'm here. Why the hell not? I took advantage of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
In 2011, I think, while I was over there, my little sister turned 16.
Mm-hmm.
I flew her over.
Oh, how did she like it?
We went to, I want to say she was over there for a month.
Damn, you had her a month?
I think so.
Oh, she had a ball.
During the summer?
That had to be a summer. That had to be the summer. Oh, yeah. That had to be summer vacay for her.
I think...
where were you living at?
I think I took leave. We were in Baumholder. So 20 minutes north of Ramstein.
Yeah, I know where it is. I'm just saying, you lived off base or?
No, well, when we had her over, I still lived on base.
You said your girlfriend?
Yeah, during the summertime.
You flew her out there too? Or?
So I told Joe that most people know that I've been married twice before.
Mm-hmm.
That was my second one, but we were dating at the time.
Ah, okay.
So she was in the Army as well. But I took my little sister to Paris.
Yeah, I've been to Paris.
Now, my little sister is 10 years younger than me, so she's 24, 25, I think, right now. Everything Paris. Everything Eiffel Tower. If I go to Burlington right now, about an hour away, if I go up there, visit her, go in her room, go in her bathroom, fucking Eiffel Tower, towel rack.
So you really put an impact on her for doing that.
I would say, I guess so.
Like not really knowing that you did, but you really put
at the time I was like, I just flew her to Germany. Like I knew that I gave her exposure. I knew that I was doing something huge because I was 16 at one point, and no motherfucker flew me to Germany.
Oh no! Well, first off,
but I paid for her plane
getting
ticket.
Getting there didn't even cross your mind. Like I'll never go there. Like
hell no, no. But then I'm in the army, and they're like, you can go to Korea or you can go to Germany. And I asked my ex, I was like, where do you want to go? And she was like, Germany. And I was like, all right, going to fucking Germany. So we went to Germany. My platoon sergeant was like, no, go to Korea because after that you can go wherever you want. And I was like, I'm going to Germany.
Yeah, the wife Hotel 6 has spoken.
Yeah, so we went to Germany. Flew my little sister over. Went to Paris. Went to the Eiffel Tower. MWR trip. $75.
Yeah, per
person. Fucking bus ride up there. Little cheat sheet map tours.
Yep. We did the same thing. Me and my wife did the same thing.
That was the second time I had been to Paris. And
Paris wasn't bad. Paris wasn't bad at all.
It was awesome. And my little sister comes home, and years later, so I want to say I left Germany in 2012, 2011, December. And in December I left Germany, came here. And so I was trying to get R&R in the middle of my plane trip. And then what I didn't realize, I don't know, the Army did some weird shit. They were like, oh, you have to go straight there. And I was like, but I live here. Like, I would like to take leave here. And so what ended up happening is they gave me a flight into North Carolina and then delayed my departure by 2 weeks. And I was like, all right, fuck it, I'll take it. So I did, and that's when I was like, oh, okay, Hannah likes Paris, whatever. Went to Fort Hood, spent 3.5 years there, got out, came back for Hannah's high school graduation.
You're from North Carolina, right?
Yeah.
In this area, or?
So Mebane, maybe an hour away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what's funny. Most people are like, oh, you were in the Army, so Fort Bragg. And I was like, nope. Went to Camp McCall for selections. I feel like I was at Fort Bragg for another reason at one point, but that was it. Never stationed there. So I got out of the Army. I came back in 2015, Hannah's high school graduation. Ended up going back to her place, and her bathroom just towel rack, picture, glass mirror, towel, everything was fucking Eiffel Tower. And I was like, exposure to Paris once, and that is
she'll never forget it, bro, ever.
That's it.
She will always remember that. And
the bulk of what I do now is books, and I ran across a book. She should have gotten it by now, but I ran across a book about Paris or the Eiffel Tower. And so I was like, she would like this. So I threw it in an envelope and I shipped it off to her. Because you know how people are, like, when you get something in the mail that is not garbage, you're like, oh, fuck yeah. It's Christmas, you know? So I was like, she likes Paris. Not only will she never forget that, but...
she's 20, 24, 25?
Yeah.
She already has it. She'll never forget it. Hey, brother, I got to get going.
No, you're good.
But yeah.
This is the Veteran Talk Show. If you or someone you love is suffering as a victim of sexual harassment, sexual assault, needs help with addiction and recovery, or mental health and well-being, then please go to veterantalkshow.com/resources. This show is hosted, Produced and edited by Ryan Smeltz. Our co-host is Joe Balak, and guest starring veterans